Humid, high 91, possible thunderstorm in the afternoon again. Not as warm on Wednesday, high 85, a mix of clouds and sun. Thursday, high 88.
Start your new career with H&K Group Incorporated. H&K Group wants to offer you the opportunity to be part of the industry leader. 80 locations across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Visit hkgroup.com and apply today. H&K does not discriminate.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
There's also different clientele at a casino Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. versus 2 a.m. on a Friday night. If you don't have money in your pocket, you shouldn't be allowed in a casino because so many people just loiter there, make it a bad experience for other people that are trying to have some fun with their disposable income. I'm always amazed by a 65-year-old grandmother who can sit at a slot machine for hours and just keep pulling the lever.
Yep.
It blows me away.
Look, they have buses from this area
I
that take
know.
senior citizens early in the morning.
You don't have to go to Atlantic City. You go to parks.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app. WPHT, WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
306 Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Casey Bartholomew. I'm with you until 6. Stick around after 6. That's when Rich Zioli comes on. 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. The cost of living and inflation are the current top concern for all humans in these United States of America, more so than what's going on in Iran. And this is what I don't get. This is a new poll done by Marquette University. The cost of living and inflation are more important than Iran and the economy. Aren't the cost of living and inflation the economy? Isn't that what that is? Or is there more to it? To be honest, my wife handles the money, so I don't really know. But this poll that was released last week shows the most important issue for American adults is the cost of living and inflation at 35%, with the economy being second at 15%. So I'm not getting that. I'm not understanding that. How is the cost of living and inflation more than the economy? It seems to me like all of those things should be intertwined as such. So it would be like 40%. No, math is really hard. 50%. Maybe they're trying to break it down to make it look better. I don't know. But the economy seems to cover all that. Other notable concerns include the Iran conflict. Is it a conflict now? I thought it was a full-on war. I know nothing was ever declared, but everybody calls it the Iran war. I guess it's a conflict now. It makes it sound better. I don't feel so bad about it. That fell to 10%, its lowest spot in 3 months since it started being surveyed. All other issues receive less than 10%, including Medicare and Social Security, the proposed Save America Act, healthcare, immigration and border security, affordability of housing. Again, isn't that economy? If you've ever, I've talked about this on the air before. I used to do this kind of stuff. I used to write polling questions. I did it very briefly. And if you can make a poll say whatever you want it to say, that's why I always have to look at who's putting it out, who commissioned it, who's putting it, whatever it is. You have to look at who paid for it and what the questions actually were. So I'm wondering if they're trying to make some things overall within the economy look better than just saying the blanket issue of the economy. Because if, 35% say cost of living and inflation, and then another 10% say affordability of housing, that seems to me to all be under the big economy umbrella. But I didn't write the survey. I didn't write the poll. So I don't know. Since January, the cost of living and inflation together has remained a top concern for American humans, with the category ranking as either the most important or second most important concern for 56% of Americans. This comes at a time when only 28% of Americans describe the nation's economy as in excellent or good state, because it is not in an excellent or good state. War in Iran also dipped concern list as the conflict closes in on its 7th month, with 75% believing that it's not worth the cost, slightly up from 72% in June. The poll also reported that 88% of Americans do not believe the U.S. has achieved its goal in the Iran war, up from 81% in June. I don't know how anybody can answer that because I never really was clear on what the goal was. I think it was in a roundabout sort of way, nuclear war, nuclear weapons, Iran not having nuclear weapons. So I guess you could say we took care of that at least temporarily. But those are the big, most important things. It is always, I know, especially on a talk station, not many people are going to like James Carville, right? But it was his famous line in the 1992 presidential campaign delivered by Bill Clinton, "It's the economy, stupid." It's always the economy. That's why it wouldn't have met. We could have run a lump of coal against Kamala and Joe back in 2024, and we still would have won because the economy sucked. And people weren't going to give the boneheads that caused it another chance to do even worse with the economy. So anytime the economy is bad, that's the single most important issue to Americans. Even if it's good, that's still the single most important issue because Americans want the economy to stay good. This is why, by the way, the midterms are kind of sketchy for those of us on the right. Now, they always are kind of not kind to the party in power. Republicans are in power right now. The midterms are coming up. That's historically the case. Not always, but historically. And since the economy is not in great shakes right now, that could be a problem for the right, which I would hate to see personally, because if Democrats take the House, Trump's going to be impeached, and then he'll be impeached again, and then they'll just keep impeaching him. And that's just the way it's going to go. It's never going to be removed for office. That's not going to happen, but they're just going to impeach him over and over and over again because that's all they got. I wonder, when I look at stuff like this, I do wonder, what are the Democrats going to run on when Trump is gone? He can't run again, and I don't care what anybody says, he's not going to run again. He can't run again, and then they're just going to have to go back to what? What issues did they run on before? I can't remember. Before Orange Man Bad, what did the Democrats have? It was like free health care. I think that's what it was. I think that was it. And they're going to have to go back to that because that's the only thing they have left. So that's where we're headed right now is into a midterm like that. But it is kind of telling. I mean, I'm just going to cover everything to give the example here. And again, this is really important because the midterms are coming up. We've got roughly 35% of the economy and 10%, roughly 50% of the American people. 50, really 60% because they ask all these questions if you bring all the numbers up here. Roughly between 50 and 60% of the American people right now, today, being polled, are concerned about the economy. So whatever the right does between now and November, they're going to have to get the economy under control. Because that is the overwhelming thing. Again, I know what the number is, but they're probably trying to break things down to try to not make it look as bad. But they're going to have to get the economy under control in some way, shape, or form in order to make sure that we have at least some semblance of a chance when it comes to the midterms. Because if they don't, again, the next 2 years are going to be comical. That's why, I don't know. I know people really try really hard not to believe polls. And I get that. I mean, I was around during 2016, all right, when everybody thought Hillary was picking her cabinet and then she lost the election. That's what it came down to. So polls aren't always 100% accurate, but if you look at them statistically over time, they generally are. And when you're talking about something like this, with the economy being the major issue, then that's generally going to be pretty close to dead on. Doesn't matter how you try to break it down. That's going to be pretty close to dead on over and over and over again. So that's something that we're going to need to keep an eye on as the midterms come up. And because of the war in Iran, that does have an impact on this, right? I know if you guys noticed, but they'll say, oh, we're coming to an agreement, price of gas goes down. Nope, they can't do it. We're going to start bombing again. Price of gas goes back up. The yo-yo effect on that kind of stuff is causing people problems, and that impacts the economy. So that's going to be an issue coming up with the midterms coming up. All right, 3:15 now. This comes out of North Carolina. A North Carolina elementary school is currently facing backlash after parents discovered that a teacher there was playing make-believe dress-up. They discovered a male music teacher was educating students while wearing a dress and causing a bitter divide. Can we not keep this stuff out of school? Is it not possible to keep this land of make-believe out of the schools? Can you not live your personal life in your personal time? Do you have to drag kids down and screw with kids' education? Along with every other mental illness you're going through right now. This is happening at a place called Middle Creek Elementary School. It's in Apex, which is near Raleigh. They went back to school on July 30th, where students were met with a new music teacher who's a guy who's playing dress up. He's dressing as a woman. And they didn't tell the parents about it. That's the bigger issue, right? They didn't tell any of the parents about it. And then suddenly there's a drag queen in the music room, and suddenly everybody's got to just, oh, well, I guess that's okay. And then the parents are like, wait a minute. Can we tap the brakes on that one? This is all according to a statement that was issued by State Representative Aaron Perret. At the school board meeting this past week, many parents said they were unaware of the new hire because they didn't tell you. Because they didn't want you to know. They wanted to bring the man playing make-believe into the school and just hope that everybody would be cool with it. And unfortunately, I don't care. All right? I don't care if you want to play dress up and play make-believe in your free time. That doesn't impact me, so I don't care. I don't have to interact with you. I don't have to deal with you. I don't have to deal with your mental illness. So it doesn't matter to me. The moment you start bringing it in to where it impacts my kids, it matters to me. And it's not all about, intolerance and then whatever the whiny nonsense they say is. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is you are a distraction from the educational process. I don't even care if it's a non-topic or a topic like music, okay? A non-class like music. It is a educational setting. And if you are creating a distraction in the educational setting, get out. Nobody cares. I feel the same way every so often. This pops up. And there will be a teacher who has an OnlyFans page, right? Taking pictures of their feet or other parts of their body. But either way, they've got an OnlyFans page, and somebody finds it because somebody always finds it when you have an OnlyFans page. It's something they never tell the girls who try to make a few extra bucks. Somebody always finds your OnlyFans page, especially if you're a teacher, because they're looking for it. And then the teacher says, I should be able to do in my private time whatever I want to. Yeah, but you're a distraction now. All of the boys at the school, or certainly all of the kids' dads, are going to see you butt naked, and now you are a distraction to the educational process. And if you're any kind of a distraction to kids getting an education, get out. I don't care about your private life. Get out. You are causing a problem. If you want to dress like a girl and call yourself Sally on the weekends when nobody sees it, that's one thing. But the moment it starts infringing upon the educational area, then I have an issue with it. So Princess here was dressing up like a girl, and that caused a problem. At a school board meeting, parents said they were unaware, with many finding out via social media after popular creators such as Libs of TikTok posted about the teacher. The news bitterly divided parents over whether or not the educator should be allowed to play dress up during school hours. No. Because you are taking away from the educational process. I don't care what mental illness you are going through. I care about my kids' education. And if you're playing dress up during class time, That means my kid's losing some educational time, and that's not acceptable. That's not why you're there. You want to play dress up on the weekends and make whatever you want to do. Knock yourself out. As long as, again, it doesn't infringe on the educational issue. The state representative, Aaron Perret, is also calling for a mandatory dress code for public school teachers, which would include requiring gender-appropriate professional attire, which is causing people's heads to explode, by the way. What? You mean women should have to dress as women and men should... the devil, you say. Yeah. You see the problem with that, by the way? It just says gender-appropriate professional attire. Then you run into that stupidity that's been going on for the past 15 years. Well, how many genders are there? 2. There's 2 genders. You dress as the one you were born as. Again, whatever you want to do outside. But if you just say gender appropriate, you can say, well, my gender is this, and then everybody has to accept it. You have to say biological gender. However, the Wake County School Board said implementing a new dress code would be unconstitutional and discriminatory. How's that? There's dress codes all the time. There's dress codes everywhere. How's that unconstitutional and discriminatory? When I was in school, I went to a private Catholic school because my parents hated me. I'm not even Catholic. But when I was in the school, the boys had to wear blue cords, because why not? And a blue button-up shirt from kindergarten through short sleeve button-up shirt from kindergarten through 6th grade. In the 7th and 8th grade, the boys got to transition over to a white polo. The girls had to wear a blue plaid jumper from kindergarten through 6th grade. In the 7th grade, they got to go to a skirt and a white blouse. That was not, nobody ever said, you're discriminating against me. How dare you? But apparently laws are fluid with whether or not we want to do anything about them. Apparently laws are kind of like, okay, well, we don't really want to do that, so we're going to make up reasons why we're not going to do it. And as we make up, as you come up for reasons that are made up rules, don't matter, we'll make up more rules. Just like this idiot is making up his gender when he's a guy. According to board member Chris Hagerty, he said to parents, I think it's a he, Chris, I don't know. Did I just misgender him? I could go to jail for that. But they said, enforcing gender differentiated clothing requirements based on traditional gender roles constitutes impermissible sex stereotyping under the Constitution. I have read the Constitution. I have read the Constitution more than once. I have never read that. I have never once read that. Impermissible sex stereotyping. I don't believe those words appear in the Constitution. Well, he's talking about the North Carolina state constitution. I've worked in North Carolina. I've never read the North Carolina Constitution. Maybe it says that. I don't know. But the dummy goes on to say, so can we all come together, respect the law, and work on how we can all come together and fund our kids' education? Now, let's get this off of the circus freak paying make-believe. Let's get off that. Let's talk about funding education. We can't. Why don't we talk about valuing education and stop distracting from education? Why don't we let the circus freaks not come in here and dress as the opposite sex? How about that? Hagerty said the district is following the guidance of the United States Constitution and our U.S. court system. Again, the words impermissible sex stereotyping do not appear in the Constitution of the United States. So he's making that up. When they say stuff like that, they're just trying to shut parents up. All right? We've seen this time and time again, especially when it comes to adults playing dress up. We've seen it time and time again where they try to shut parents up and ban them from school meetings and just to try to make it look like everybody accepts the grown-ups playing dress up here. No, fine. Play dress up on the weekends. Go meet guys in bars, play dress up on the weekends. Whatever mental illness has you do. Don't go right ahead and do it. But again, you're messing with my kids' education. And since you are messing with my kids' education, You don't get to do that. That's pretty much the beginning and the middle and end of that. I believe we do have a right to an education, not in those words, but I do believe that does appear in the Constitution, unlike the words impermissible sex stereotyping. But he says, yeah, we're following the guidelines on the U.S. courts, which dictated that school dress code must be gender neutral and non-discriminatory. Many parents and board members, again, I don't think that's true because there are dress codes everywhere. I think that's, he's playing make-believe again. Many parents and board members spoke in support of the teacher. They must have been drinking. Were they serving liquor before this? Were they handing out shooters before the school board meeting? I like it when men dress like women. But anyway, including board member Jennifer Job, who accused parents of using the educator to propel their political agenda, completely ignoring the fact that the teacher is jeopardizing their kids' education to further his political agenda. I always love it when they do that. It's like, you people are using this to propel your political agenda. Well, what's the idiot in the dress doing? Is he not trying to further his political agenda, force it on the kids so that he can play dress up? I think he is. But again, they're pointing fingers. The idiot goes on to say, people online and in this room are willing to sacrifice this person's love for their job, for their culture war. You're willing to sacrifice kids' education for your culture war. Again, there's two sides to every coin, you know. But again, this man playing dress up is willing to sacrifice, again, the education in favor of their mental health issues. Many parents and community members said the addition of a transgender teacher promoted diversity, and attacking the educator was only showing children to discriminate based on appearance and identity. It's not how forcing people to accept things when somebody's just has a mental illness and is, again, playing dress up. Anna Coleman, who formerly taught in the district, said at the meeting, "We have a responsibility as a county to serve students of all diverse backgrounds and their families." Meaning? Who's not being served? What students aren't being served? Again, the adult wants to play dress up, but what students aren't being served? I don't understand what they're saying. Now, some parents formed a coalition called Middle Creek Parental Rights, which is led by Aaron Driver and his wife. The group is demanding the school release the hiring records for the transgender teacher, and said parents should not have found out about the educator via social media. They're right. You're absolutely right. If you know, by the way, especially if you're a school, maybe if you're not the liquor store down the street, but if you're working at a school and you're hiring educators, you know that if you hire a guy in a dress, someone's going to notice. That's going to cause problems. You can't pretend to be shocked by this. You can't go, why are we talking about this? We need to talk about funding education. Why is anybody taking any time with it? You can't do that. Especially in today's political climate. You've got a mentally ill teacher there wearing dresses, and you think that's just going to go under the radar? Maybe in the days before social media, maybe long ago in the days before social media, but not today, my friend. One of the guys said, parent Stephen Stacks said it was a simple conversation to have with children, as he had done himself. He says, my kids did have a question or two, and we had a good conversation about how sometimes people don't feel at home in a box society creates. It was that simple. Well, okay, for you. For me, I'm telling my kids, that guy's crazy. That guy's mentally ill. There's something wrong in his brain, and he's dressing up in a skirt. So you've got a crazy teacher wearing a dress, and we're all supposed to see, because what they're saying is, it's not just a simple question, just a simple conversation. I just told my kids this. What they're saying is, this is what you're to tell your kids. This is what you have to do. So there you go. We're going to force you to have a decent conversation. And by the way, you have to do it this way, and say it's perfectly normal for men to wear dresses and wander around at school. And then pick other men up on the weekends. I think there were movies about that. I don't think it ever ends well. Silence of the Lambs. That's one of those ones. That's not a good one. So I worry about that. But anyway, that's what's going on. And the school, again, in North Carolina is shocked that they hired a mentally ill person wearing cross-dressing, and that the parents had to find out about it on social media, and they're shocked that the parents are concerned about that. Absolutely fascinating. 855-839-1210 is our number here. When we come back, we're going to talk to you about helicopter parents, something horrible that's happening more and more. That's next. I'm Casey Bartholomew, 3:30 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
All right, what's the weather like out there?
It's hot, 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 real hot.
Can you tell me what it feels like?
Were you born on the sun? I said it's hot.
This is Jonathan Cans, third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Is this how you're feeling right now? Well, don't let your house feel like a rainforest anymore. To keep your home cool, contact us at marvinecans.com. That's marvineknze.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. It is not hard to destroy a college. Last season, the podcast Campus Files brought you stories of fraternity drug rings, stolen body parts, campus cults, and more.
And now, Campus Files is back for another season.
There's a guy screaming into his phone. He's like, I just saw Charlie Kirk get assassinated right in front of me.
Every week is a new episode and a new story.
It was so chaotic.
It's almost like a university under siege.
Listen to and follow Campus Files. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Meta's AI app is seeing strong growth according to the latest data from Apptopia. In July, the Meta AI app saw the largest percentage point gain in daily users of any AI app. Apptopia says other apps in the AI market, including ChatGPT and Claude, were flat or down from June. However, Meta AI is seeing much less time spent on the app from users compared to the other apps. I'm Jason Brooks.
Back to school season is here, and Dollar General has everything you need to start the school year strong. Don't forget to grab a pair of bright yellow sunglasses from the Yellow Glasses Project for just $2. Every purchase makes a difference, with 100% of proceeds helping support teachers, classrooms, and nonprofit organizations working to improve reading and literacy skills across the country. Stop by Dollar General today and shine bright with the Yellow Glasses Project, available now at Dollar General. The Yellow Glasses Project is a program of the Dollar General Literacy Foundation.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at progressive.com.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
.335 Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Casey Bartholomew. I'm in today. I'll be with you until 6. That'll be when Rich Zioli comes in. 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. This is actually something that's been going on for a while, but apparently it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And I will tell you that now I've hired people for a couple of radio stations, but if I ever interviewed anybody or arranged an interview or a meeting with somebody and they showed up with their mom or dad, I think I would have to go through the interview just to have gone through the interview, but that person would not get the job. If you bring up mom or dad to the job interview, I've never brought my parents to a job interview. I don't even think my parents have ever dropped me off for a job interview. When I was a kid, I think I rode my bike. But some Gen Z job applicants are showing up to interviews with mumsy and papa. HR professionals say a growing number of parents are getting involved in their adult children's job searches, even applying for jobs on their behalf in some cases, as Gen Z navigates a tough job market. You know, I could almost understand, right? Almost. I wouldn't. But almost. I could almost get there. If it was a 16-year-old trying to get a job at McDonald's or something like that, mom shows up, just say, sit up straight, something like that, I think I still wouldn't hire that kid, because what are you going to do? You're going to call mom? When you're not getting the french fries out quick enough, you're going to call mom? No, these are adults. These are adult, fully formed, in some cases, college-graduated humans. And they're bringing mom and dad to the job interview. Like I said, if I was hiring anybody and you showed up with literally anybody else, I don't care if you're mom or dad, if you brought an older brother or, something like that I wasn't expecting, I would automatically mark you're not hired. It would have to be an absolute act of desperation on my part to hire you for that job. I don't understand what anybody is thinking when they say, well, mom, I've got a job interview at this big accounting firm. So, it's Wednesday at noon. So I'm going to need you and dad to, come up. What's the dress code for the parents? Like if I go to a job interview, I wear a suit. Not in radio, in something else. Radio, they're lucky my penis is covered. But if I do too. If I was going to a job at a big, like accounting, a business, an office or something like that, if I wear a suit, what's mom wear? Mom got a business suit, like an Ally McBeal job going on? Dad wear his coat and tie? Or do they just show up dressed as parents with like rah-rah sort of signs? Career coach Sarah Johnston, a founder and CEO of Briefcase Coach and a former corporate recruiter, says she's hearing about it constantly. He says anything from parents showing up to job fairs to even moms calling recruiters asking for an explanation for why their child was dismissed from a role. Why did you fire my baby? Your 30-year-old baby? Why did I fire your 30-year-old baby? I want you to hang up the phone and think about that one. You may have the answer. It may be pretty apparent to you, Mom, is why you're calling. Johnston said today's job market looks nothing like the one that many parents remember, which leads some to want to intervene. So the job market looks nothing like you recognize. I honestly think my mom and dad would have been disgusted by me, would have felt like failures as parents if I would have said, Mom, Dad got me a job interview. I need you to come with. I think they would have been, Case, we don't go to job interviews. What do you want us to do? Because what are you saying? You're saying that while you're at work, what are you going to do? You're going to call Mom and Dad? What am I supposed to do? Well, I don't know. Let me write a letter to your boss, and he'll excuse you from work for the day. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Most of these parents are Gen Xers. I am a Gen Xer. I am tail end Gen X, but I still am a Gen Xer. My youngest is just about to start college. My daughter, who's the oldest, has a job. I didn't go to the job interview. I'm not even 100% sure where she works. Yeah, I would be guessing if I said, I know she has an office. I don't know if that helps. But because there are only a few jobs that have offices. But either way, if my son applied for a job anywhere, I wouldn't go. If he said, come with me, I'd say, no, I don't know. You did, this is you. Sale on sale. You you do it by yourself. You go down there and you answer their questions. And if it doesn't go well, you can call them and ask them why you didn't get the job. Not because you want to demand the job, but because I just want to know, was there something I did during the interview so I can know? That might actually make you look better. No, but some of these idiots are actually taking their kids. But they searched for work during the .com boom. And Johnson says when hiring was plentiful, now young professionals are dealing with widespread job loss on top of new pressures like AI and social media. Social media is not new. This is a completely different job market than many of these parents experience for themselves. And unfortunately, job searches are taking longer than people are anticipating. So mom and dad think that they can go to the job interview with you and maybe coerce, I guess. I do wonder, too, who is, I've been making fun of the kid for wanting to have mom and dad come. I wonder if the kid is asking mom and dad to come, or if the parents are actually, you're going to a job interview? Hang on, I'll get my coat. Something like that. Hell, in some of these cases, it sounds like the parents are even applying for the jobs and filling out all the online stuff. If that's just pathetic. I wouldn't hire that lump to do anything. Good Lord. Wall Street Journal report found the trend has accelerated since the pandemic. A survey by resume service Zeti found that 1 in 5 Gen Z job seekers had a parent attend the interview with them. 1 in 5, that is 20%. That is ridiculous. Again, I've hired people throughout my career. I've never seen a parent at a job interview. Never, maybe dropped them off, like I said, something like that. That I would allow. Cars break down, and sometimes I'm hiring young kids to do ridiculous work. So if I'm doing that, then yeah, go ahead. That's fine. But for an actual job, if anybody else sits down to the 20% of Gen Z freaks who are bringing your parents with you to a job interview, you didn't get the job. In fact, now I'm annoyed. And it will depend on what kind of mood I'm in, if I'm even going to give you an interview. And if I do, I won't be paying attention. If I actually do give you a job interview, I'm not listening. I'm asking you cursory questions just to make it look like I actually spent some time with you. But what you just did was waste my day. If you brought mom or dad in, and God forbid your parents speak up during the job interview. I might actually look. It's like, I don't want this loser here that you raised, but you seem like you're on the ball. Are you looking for work? I don't want this idiot. I don't want your child. You screwed up. But you sound moderately intelligent. I'll hire you. Johnston says that if a parent shows up at a job interview or job fair, hiring managers should redirect the conversation back to the candidate. Nah. Hiring managers should spend as little time with these losers as possible and send them on their way. Because we're not talking about the candidate. The candidate is a mama's boy, daddy's boy, whatever idiot. And I don't want anything to do with them. And girls, too. I wouldn't hire a girl who brought their parents either. If a parent calls on the child's behalf, she suggests employers ask for the conversation to be had between them and the candidate directly. saying, as easy as it is to judge these parents, it is. Well, the moment I read this article yesterday, I was judging these parents. How could you what would ever make you think that it was okay to go to a job interview with your kid? Even if your kid begged you to. If my kids begged me to, and neither one of my kids have ever asked, because I think they know what they would hear. But neither one of my kids has ever asked. But if they did, I would feel like a failure as a parent. As a failure as a human. I would call ICE on myself. And I'm an American citizen, born and raised. I would call ICE on myself to have me deported. Because I shouldn't be here infecting the gene pool. But she says, as easy as it is to judge these parents, I think we have to remember that these parents are acting out of love and not out of control. Lies. It's a lie. They want to control. They want this loser, probably 23, 24-year-old college graduated doorknob, out of their house. And they're willing to do whatever it takes to get it. They're willing to go to job interviews and do anything they can to get their loser child off their couch and out of their house. And so they're going the extra mile by actually attending job interviews with their loser kid. Tell me your kid's a loser without telling me your kid's a loser. That's how you do it. You go to the job interview. Unbelievable. 855-839-1210 is the number here. Coming up, a thing of the past is still being funded some places, to the tune of millions of dollars. We'll talk to you about that coming up. I'm Casey Bartholomew. It is 3:46. You're listening to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Looking for an auto repair shop you can actually trust? McCullough's Auto Repair has been serving Delco since 1999. They believe honesty, fairness, and friendly service still matter. Chuck and Ralph run the place. No matter your car's issue, they'll explain it in plain English and help you decide what really needs to be done now and what can wait. Chuck's motto is, I'll never steer you wrong. Call McCullough's at 610-446-1230 and ask for Chuck or Ralph, or visit McCulloughsAutorepair.com.
Dawn Stensland here. There's a feeling that comes with driving a Mercedes-Benz. A feeling of confidence, craftsmanship, and arriving exactly where you belong during the Mercedes-Benz Welcome Home celebration. Discover exceptional offers on a selection of new vehicles, including the GLC and GLE SUVs. The Welcome Home celebration happening now. Mercedes-Benz of Westchester, Wilmington, and Atlantic City. YazAutoGroup.com, PIAZZA. Tell them Dawn sent you.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go! Almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Keep your savings on track while you make lasting summer memories with the First Harvest Credit Union Growth Savings Account. Earn up to 3% annual percentage yield with a $1,000 minimum balance. And the best part? No withdrawal penalties. Your money's always there when you need it. Want even more ways to save? Check out our share and IRA certificates too. Visit firstharvestcu.com/growth savings or stop by a branch to get started. Membership restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
.351 Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Casey Bartholomew. I am with you until 6 o'clock. That'll be when Rich Zioli comes in. 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. A few years ago, I was in Orlando. I was in Orlando, Florida with my daughter, and we were staying at a hotel, and we were just taking a walk, just killing time. And we passed by a payphone on the side of the road. It was the first payphone I had seen in 100 years. And she looked at it, and she literally said, "What's that?" And I said, "It's a payphone." She said, "Oh." And she said, "It's just out there like that?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, so you would like go up to them and put money in them and just put that thing against your face and talk? And I went, "Well, you say it that way, it sounds pretty gross, but yeah, that's a general idea. We would do that." And she just looked at it like it was crazy, like we were in a museum walking by. My son has never seen he's a little younger than her. He has never seen a payphone in his life. And when I talked to him about it, his reaction is pretty much the same. It's like, so you would just walk out. What if somebody put something on it? And I was like, well, that did happen. That was a thing that happened. People would rub like Vaseline on them, and you'd put it up to your ear, and it'd be like gross. So, but yeah, that did happen. Well, this comes up because this happening in Los Angeles, the LA County Internal Services Department, the ISD, submitted a request to the Board of Supervisors seeking approval of about $1 million for a contract to maintain services at 241 payphones around Los Angeles County. I didn't even know there were any payphones anywhere. The one in Orlando was years ago. I'm sure that one's long gone. There's 241 of them. I think this is an issue to make sure, cell phones are expensive, especially when you don't want them traced. There's a lot of drug and gang and gun runner activity in Los Angeles. So I'm guessing that they do this in order to make sure that the criminals can continue to do their criminal activity. I'm just guessing, just spitballing here, but maybe. The contract is with a company called Little John Communications Incorporated, would ensure the county continues to receive payphone services without disruption and provide streamlined contracting processes for departments to acquire such services. I didn't even know there were phone lines anymore. I got to be completely honest with you. I don't have a landline in my home, let alone a payphone. So we haven't had a landline for years and years and years, and now people are using payphones. It's weird. The request noted the ISD is already managing a contract that provides services to these payphones for both county use and public use at various county facilities, including county parks. See, if you're going to sell drugs and you don't want to use a cell phone, don't want to get things pinged, you got to have access to a payphone. It's simple economics. So county parks, courts, who's at courts? Criminals, again. Sheriff's facilities and hospitals. It's like, I don't, does anybody not have a cell phone? I mean, it's largely irrelevant. Even if there's two people, are there two people together that don't have a cell phone? One of the requirements states that the communications company must allow for payment by means of depositing coins in the phones. Well, yeah, that's how you do it. Or if you knew how. When I was a kid, we knew how to activate it without... you would like pound on the receiver part, and then it would start buzzing, and you could do. We stole phone calls all the time. Am I outing myself? Am I turning myself in? It's a communications violation. I'm sure there's a statute. Anyway, in return, the county receives 60% of the revenue from the payphones, producing $100 or more of revenue each month. I'm sure it's going to be a lot. But the county will not get any share of revenue for payphones that generate $99.99 or less per month. It's a $1 million contract, and it shows that they're going to have 241 payphones all around the county of Los Angeles. Just the city of Los Angeles, the county of Los Angeles. But I'm trying to think right now if I know where are any payphones at. And I can't off the top of my head think of any. Like I said, I thought I went to Orlando. That was 10 years ago. I'm sure that one's long. It was on the street, too. It's long gone. I was in a Red Robin a couple years ago and in Jersey, and they still had where the payphones were. It always looked like a wooden place, and there was that little shelf to put the phone books. All that stuff was still there, but there were no phones there. But they're actually paying $1 million a year in order to get payphones to run in an LA County. Again, given where they're saying they're going to be, this is mostly for the drug trade. Being from Los Angeles, I can assure you that a lot of people there use drugs. A lot of people there make money off drugs, and they need to have access to the payphones. Otherwise, they'll get caught, and that would lessen the population. Increase the jail population, but lessen the population. All right, we got more coming up. I'm Casey Bartholomew. It is 3:57 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
The Bloomberg Market Minute, sponsored by Piazza Premium, powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. With just minutes to go ahead of Wall Street's closing bell, stocks are on track for modest losses today, with no movement at all on efforts to reopen ship traffic in the Strait of Hormuz. That sent oil higher, up above $82 a barrel today, sparking worries about inflation moving higher as well. So right now on Wall Street, the Dow and the Nasdaq each down about 0.33%, the S&P down a small fraction. Paramount Skydance says it reached a deal with AMC and Regal Cinemas, the world's two biggest movie theater chains, guaranteeing that the company will release 30 movies a year in theaters when and if it acquires rival Warner Brothers Discovery. And with the appetite to build out AI data centers and other infrastructure so great, Wall Street giants, including Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, Blackstone, private equity firms KKR, and Apollo Global Management are now in talks with AI chipmaker NVIDIA, creating a pool of over $500 billion for AI projects. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or find them online at retirereadyfg.com. And get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC. NPN number 2083768.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. For more than 40 years, Rescue Natural Supplements has helped people take charge of their health, and right now, they're saying a big thank you to those who have trusted Rescue with their wellness needs during their customer appreciation sale going on now. Save an incredible 50% when you mix and match any 5 or more single bottles, and your order ships free. Just use that promo code VIP50. Whether you're focused on heart health, healthy cholesterol, joint comfort, cognitive support, digestion, or simply feeling your best every day, this is the perfect time to stock up on the premium formulas that you know and trust, or experience the difference that Rescue can make for the very first time. Visit res-q.com or call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak with a product consultant ready to help you find the supplements that fit your health goals. Don't miss Rescue's biggest thank you of the year. Save 50%, get free shipping when you mix and match 5 or more single bottles. Just use that promo code VIP50 at res-q.com.
Executive order reducing the number of child vaccines for protection to 11 diseases, down from the 18 diseases recommended by the CDC in 2024. The president also recommended childhood vaccine schedules for the measles, mumps, and rubella, or MMR, be split into 3 separate shots, he says, to reduce autism risks.
At 1 year, you should have 5 separate visits for vaccines rather than getting them all in the same day.
Major medical groups, including the American Academy of Pediatrics, say that there are no studies showing a link between vaccines and autism. Talks between the U.S. and Iran remain stalled over the Strait of Hormuz, Iran demanding the U.S. lift the naval blockade and pay reparations. President Trump now says Iran should repay that for decades of terrorist-related deaths in the Middle East. ABC's Stephen Portnoy says Iran is listing its own demands for opening the critical waterway.
In past weeks, we've heard the president talk about a last chance for Iran. In recent months, since the war began in late February, he's talked about a complete surrender that he's demanded. And now you have the Iranians trying to put international pressure on the United States, on the global economy, by threatening to choke off traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, now demanding reparations and an end to the blockade.
At least 111 people have died following the massive earthquake in western Colombia today. Rescue operations underway in the city of Cali, where 20 buildings reported collapsed, leaving people trapped. The 46-year-old operator of the capsized boat this weekend near the Statue of Liberty in New York's harbor made his first court appearance. Manuel Hernandez is charged federally with negligence as a ship captain, resulting in the death, and misconduct as a ship captain, resulting in death. A mother and her 5-month-old baby were killed. 11 others were also on board. You're listening to ABC News.
In a recent survey of 123,000 wireless customers, Pure Talk was the only wireless company to receive 5 stars in every category: coverage, support, value, and data. What else do you need to know? Switch to Pure Talk today and get any plan, including their top shelf unlimited data plan, for just $15 a month for your first 3 months. No contract, no commitment. Dial pound 250, say micro, and let Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team help you make the switch.
These days, heading back to school means more than pencils and notebooks. It means laptops, tablets, online accounts, and a lot of personal information moving across the internet. WebRoot Total Protection gives families powerful online defense tools with antivirus, VPN, cloud backup, identity protection, and more, helping keep your digital life secure throughout the school year and beyond. Go to webroot.com/radio and get 60% off today. That's webroot.com/radio for 60% off. Live a better digital life with WebRoot, because peace of mind shouldn't be optional.
Jury selection began today in the murder trial of rapper Tupac Shakur. It comes after a break in the case 3 decades after the fatal shooting of the West Coast rapper. Prosecutors alleging that the murder was a hit. ABC's Alex Stone has more.
Las Vegas prosecutors say they can prove the murder was orchestrated by one-time South LA gang leader Dwayne Davis, street name Keefe D. Davis spoke exclusively to ABC News from inside jail.
I'm innocent. I ain't killed nobody.
But for years, Davis has boasted about his alleged involvement in Shakur's murder. He even published a book admitting to his role in it, a book he now says he didn't write. Davis now pleading not guilty to 1 count of murder.
Extreme heat and dry conditions fueling dangerous wildfires across the country, leaving firefighters stretched on the front lines. Here's ABC's Kana Whitworth.
Nearly 100 large fires burning nationwide, scorching more than 3 million acres as exhausted firefighters race to contain the flames. Most of them in the West, nearly 50 in Oregon and Washington alone, while evacuations are being ordered near Reno, Nevada, as the bug fire torched more than 15,000 acres over the weekend.
In California, Jackie, the injured female bald eagle who gained worldwide attention with the birth of eaglets on a Big Bear web camera, is presumed dead. The Ojai Raptor Center in California announced that her condition continued to deteriorate after a fight. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
In a recent survey of 123,000 wireless customers, Pure Talk was the only wireless company to receive 5 stars in every category: coverage, support, value, and data. What else do you need to know? Switch to Pure Talk today and get any plan, including their top shelf unlimited data plan, for just $15 a month for your first 3 months. No contract, no commitment. Dial pound 250, say micro, and let Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team help you make the switch.
The following message is about Medicaid and CHIP, free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. Enrollment is open year-round.
Hey, voice lady, give me the mic.
Okay.
Hey, DJ, let's switch up the music. That's better. So listen up, moms and dads out there. There are these programs called Medicaid and CHIP. They offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids. Things like doctor and dentist visits, prescriptions, and shots are covered. All the stuff that keeps kids like me healthy and in charge.
So, as you can tell, a covered kid is a confident kid. And it means confident parents, too. To learn more about affordable health coverage for your family, visit healthcare.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. That's 1-877-543-7669.
Yep, you could do something big for your family today because enrollment is open year-round.
This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And Sophia.
WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
.406 Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Casey Bartholomew. I'm sitting in today. I'll be with you until 6 o'clock. Stick around after 6. That will be when Rich Zioli comes on. 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. When something gets too big too fast, I guess might be the way to put it. In this particular case, when too many people got too stupid too fast, and then they can't answer any questions about anything. A socialist leader squirmed during a tense Sunday interview after a California television news anchor pressed her on the real-life ramifications of the Radical Party's calls to abolish police and prisons, because the ideas are, and I'm using a technical term here, stupid. And when they, it's funny when you see. We saw it a lot with Kamala when she was running in 2024. They're used to the media loving them. They're used to the media loving them and letting them say whatever they want to say and just do whatever they want to do and not asking follow-up questions or anything like that. They're used to just being able to say stuff and then get on with their day. And then when that doesn't happen, because even the left is sure that the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, are idiots, that the media is asking follow-up questions. And when they ask them follow-up questions, they can't answer them. For instance, in this case, in an interview with a news anchor, Conan Nolan, he posed pointed questions to the DSA National Political Committee member, Francis Gill, on the topics of law enforcement, immigration, and the movement's other far-left proposals. And she folded like a cheap suit. She could not answer any of the necessary questions that people are going to want answers to. You would think that after this period of time, they would have hired a PR firm. They would have hired somebody that they could have formulated some sort of answer to make their stupidity sound at least marginally intelligent. There's only so much you can do with democratic socialist viewpoints, but at least you can make them sound marginally intelligent. But again, they are so used to getting a pass on everything. They're so used to being interviewed by the Joy Reids of the world that when they get answered follow-up or get asked follow-up questions, they can't deal with it. So after a back and forth over what defunding the police means and how that would be applied in practice, Gill resorted to deflecting by refusing to engage in hypotheticals. Gill said, what we really want to see is a horizon where folks are not reliant on armed enforcement to meet our public safety needs. Drugs. Coma drugs, where you're in a coma. That's the only place you're going to find a society wherein the people are not reliant on armed enforcement to meet public needs. Now, again, they said they didn't want to engage in hypotheticals. She said, he asked her, right now, but it says defund the police on your website. That's your goal. And also to get rid of prisons and jails, correct? To which Gill answered affirmatively. So they want to defund the police, which is get rid of police. They want to get rid of prisons and jails. And then what? What happens next? What is the other thing that happens at that point? Because, he goes on. He presses her on it. He goes, so if my daughter is assaulted and raped, is there any agency that would seek to find her assailant and bring him to justice? To which she said, of course, yeah, of course, before the host jumped back into the follow-up question, which they are, again, not used to. They are not used to follow-up questions. I said, what would it be if not police, and where would he be if not a jail? Simple question, right? To which she replied, so I guess I really want to avoid getting caught into these hypotheticals and talk about the reality that we're actually facing right now. The reality that we're actually facing right now is that there are rapists, there are murderers, and there are some nasty people in jail. There are some horrible, nasty people in jail. It is not a hypothetical to ask somebody what would happen to a rapist if they were caught, who would hunt for the rapist first if a woman got raped. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news here. But even under a democratic socialist utopia, there would be rapists and murderers. And somebody would have to stop them. Now, she doesn't know how to answer these. In previous iterations of this question, for instance, in Seattle, they wanted to defund the police. Seattle's big on that. They wanted to defund the police, take all the financing away from the police force. And what they wanted to do was they wanted to create a force that could be armed that would maintain order in society. So basically, they wanted to defund the police and create the police. And that was the best they could come up with. And since they're stupid, that kind of faded away. But she wants to avoid hypotheticals. Are there any rape victims out there? Did you feel that was a hypothetical while that was happening to you? After the rapist left, was there anybody you wanted to call who could maybe find the rapist? And let's say they captured your rapist. Is there some place you would like them put? Maybe with a cage and a key with a lock? Anything like that? Because under the democratic socialist utopia, they don't want prisons or jails. And they don't want police. I think it's almost like a hippie parenting mindset, right? If I don't create any boundaries for my children, then there won't be any rules for them to break and they'll make better decisions. Something stupid like that. She went on to say that the reality is the city is spending outrageous amounts on police and policing. Instead of addressing real issues plaguing Los Angeles, she suggested that the lack of streetlights, that's always a big thing. Do you remember that? During the vice presidential debate in 2020 when Kamala was the VP candidate for Biden, they talked that the streetlights were the big problem. If we just had streetlights. You think you were ever going to hear the mindset, God, I was going to murder somebody today, but look at all these streetlights. Can't do it now. So the lack of streetlights, substance abuse treatment, and mental health care are all contributing to a lack of public safety and a rise in crime. That is not untrue, except for the streetlights. But you need to get substance treatment. You need to get mental health care. We do need to have those things. But let's say that one of those people who gets the mental health treatment, gets the substance abuse treatment, let's say they're on a street that has streetlights. Let's say they still rape a woman, which will 100% happen. Let's say they do that. Who will hunt them down and where will we keep them once they are caught? Is there no crime punishment in a democratic socialist utopia? I don't know. Anyway, they go on to talk about other democratic socialist utopia things. The pair then clashed over voter demographics in Michigan's Democratic Senate primary, won by Democratic Socialist jackass Abdul El Sayed, closely associated with extremist streamer Hassan Piker, who once said America deserved 9/11. The two palled around on the campaign trail. Nolan noted that El Sayed's support came overwhelmingly from college-educated voters like Gil, and that El Sayed lost the state's 15 counties where the majority of voters did not have a college degree, characterizing the latter as the working class the DSA claims to support. Noting that she has $500,000 in student debt, Gill said college-educated voters like herself believed their degrees would lead to prosperity. But ultimately, they found themselves downwardly mobile because society's scales are tipped in one direction to benefit the rich. No specifics. Nothing specific there. It's just platitudes. That's all they have. That's all the Democratic Socialists run on platitudes. On the issue of border security, Gill became defensive and questioned whether Nolan was acting in good faith when he quizzed her about whether there would be any border security if, like the DSA promotes, U.S. immigration and customs enforcement was abolished. So she accuses him of not acting in good faith. You know what that means, right? When you're dealing with a Democratic Socialist, what that means is you're asking specific follow-up questions that I cannot answer. And because of that, you're not acting in good faith. You're being naughty. That's what you're doing. Because, again, the DSA, they don't expect follow-up questions. And if you think these freaks can't win, by the way, if you think these freaks cannot win, look at Bernie Sanders. Look at 2016, when Hillary was the darling of the Democratic Party, and she only got the nomination because the Democrats cheated. Otherwise, we would have had Bernie Sanders. God knows what would have happened if we would have gotten Bernie Sanders. But either way. So anyway, when she was asking about border security, she said, I guess I don't understand why we kind of constantly get pinned on these particular questions when the immediate reality of the situation is that immigration enforcement is absolutely out of control. Disagree. Needs to be addressed immediately. And we know that in Los Angeles, like more than almost any other city in the country. I don't think that's true. I also don't think immigration enforcement is out of control. I think it's getting under control. And she is, again, just simply going for the platitudes. It's like, no, I don't. I guess I don't understand why we are constantly pinned on these particular questions when you know we can't answer them. Why do you constantly ask us questions that you know we can't answer? Rude. Extremely rude. And that's where you get. So if you ask them about defunding the police and doing away with prisons and jails, all things they want to do, and if you ask them specific questions about it, they won't get into hypotheticals. There's nothing hypothetical about that. People get raped. People get murdered. Police catch bad guys. Bad guys have to be kept in cages. All of those things are not hypothetical. All of those things are very real. You can go touch them. But because she doesn't have an answer, and again, they aren't used to being asked follow-up questions. They aren't used to being called out on what they're saying. You know what this is, by the way? The mainstream Democratic Party is terrified, and the mainstream media is generally on the side of the mainstream Democrats. So they're trying to push down the Democratic Socialists because everybody knows what socialists are, and everybody knows what happens when you inflict socialism on people. The great quote, this is not from me, Margaret Thatcher, the biggest problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money. Paraphrasing, but that's what she said. And even the mainstream media knows it, and they weren't prepared. How could you not be prepared to be asked about police, defunding police, doing away with prisons, doing away with jails, and immigration enforcement? How could you go for a political interview and not be prepared to do a deep dive on those? And she wasn't. And that's what we're dealing with now. I would be shocked if the Democratic Socialists won everything they went up for, but I would not be shocked if they didn't win a lot of it, especially not in places like Michigan. I lived in Michigan. That's an interesting place. All right, 420 now. This comes out of the world of sports. This is funny, by the way. It's just like the last thing with the Democratic Socialists when they get called on to the carpet on something and they can't handle it and they don't know what to say. Same thing here. Former first-round NBA draft pick Enes Kanter Freedom has made good on his promise to declare for next year's WNBA draft, officially penning a letter to the league today. Kanter shared his letter on the interwebs saying, "Rules are rules," in the caption. The letter said, "Please accept this formal document as my official written notification to the Women's National Basketball Association of my voluntary decision to enter the player pool for the 2027 WNBA draft. Consistent with the current league collective bargaining agreement, I am submitting this notice to exercise my draft rights and to affirm that I am at least 22 years old and that I have no remaining intercollegiate eligibility as required by Article 13, Section 1B. I request that the WNBA League office verify receipt of this document and direct any future communications to my personal email address listed above. Thank you for your official processing of my registration into the 2027 draft pool." What a time to be alive. It's happening they have to take them, right? And even if they say no, right? Even if they say no, you're not a transgender or whatever the case may be. You know what the rules are when it comes to that. Not just for the WNBA, for society. The rules are that you can say, I'm a woman now. I done feels like a woman on the inside. And then we all have to say, okay, that's a woman. Those are the rules. That's the way we've set it up. So those are now officially the rules. And so even if they say, no, you're not a transgender person, all he has to say is, nah, I'm a woman now. Been thinking about it for a while. I'm a woman now. And he can officially enter the draft. Now, whether or not somebody drafts him, that's another issue altogether. But if they're really being open about everything, then they have to accept him, right? That's the way it goes. Those are the rules. But Kanter, a former first-round NBA pick, and former first-round NBA pick Royce White both declared their intentions to enter the WNBA draft late last week as a clear rebuttal to the ongoing drama surrounding Sophie Cunningham, who is my favorite WNBA player. I actually like the WNBA. It's more old-style basketball, right? And my daughter loves it, so we'll watch the WNBA. I love Sophie Cunningham. I think she is hilarious. But she said, you probably heard this, I'm sure, on top of another player attempting to murder her last week because of her white privilege, she had the basketball, and the other player wanted it. So she tried to kill her so that she could have the basketball, because Sophie Cunningham's white privilege should have precluded her from having the basketball, I believe is how it worked out. But anyway, Cunningham said last month that she believed in protecting young girls in sports. What a bitch. My God. What a hateful, hateful person. I can't believe I read that. Did I read that right? She believed in protecting young girls in sports. What a discriminatory witch. What a horrible human, wanting to protect young girls' ability to play sport. What an intolerant SOB she is. My God. She told ESPN, I got a lot of negative feedback about me hating trans. And I'm like, I never once said that. I think that I am here to extend love. If Sophie would ever like to extend some love to a random person, I would like to volunteer my time. 5 minutes tops. But anyway, I digress. But I also think with that love is truth, being honest. And I want to protect young girls in a locker room or young girls in sport who shouldn't have to go against biological men. Horrible, horrible woman she is, isn't she? Do you read all the hatred and intolerance of there? She wants to extend love. Ugh. She wants to protect young girls in locker rooms and young girls from getting damaged, playing sports against biological men. What a hateful, hateful person. Ew. But anyway, people didn't see it that right. In fact, again, one tried to kill her last week. That reignited the trans in women's sports debate, which really shouldn't be a debate. If you're a boy, you shouldn't play sports against girls, but either way. And, you know, I say this all the time whenever it comes up, because it's the same thing all the time, right? We were told it was never going to happen. We were told that boys were never going to play women's sports. We were told that that wasn't going to happen and that there were no examples of it. And there are example after example after example after example after example. We keep finding examples of that happening, but we are constantly told, no, that's not going to happen. What about this? That's not the same. That didn't happen. It did happen. I saw it. No, that didn't happen. But anyway, that's what they say. So that reignited this debate, which led to several protests from both sides before Fever games. Sophie Cunningham's on the Indianapolis Fever and is hot, I don't mind saying. Earlier this month, Minnesota head coach Cheryl Reeve made her stance known by wearing Trans Kids Belong shirt during a game against Cunningham and the Fever. Trans kids belong. They belong in trans sports. Absolutely, positively, 100% support trans sports. I just don't support them trying to, kill my daughter, because that also is a thing that happens, but nobody ever cares about that. Nobody wants to have that conversation. Anyway, the WNBA has since come out with a boilerplate statement praising the different lived experiences, cultures, lifestyles, and opinions in the wake of the trans athlete debate reaching the league. So they said nothing, is what they said. The WNBA just decided, we're just not going to say things. If that's okay, we're just not going to say things. Hate, abuse. Well, they said, to everyone who loves this game, the WNBPA, Players Association, represents 200-plus individuals, people with different lived experiences, cultures, lifestyles, and opinions. We embrace justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. Those are values that unite this union and allow it to protect women's sports while creating transformational change. They didn't say anything. That says nothing. So are you going to let fully grown men cause pain and damage and steal places from women in society? Yes, we are, is what they're trying to say. Probably not these NBA players. Probably not these former NBA players, because that would be crazy talk. So they're going to discriminate when they feel the need to discriminate. They're going to take their discrimination on a case-by-case basis. They go on to say, hate, abuse, demonization of any person or group of people, including transgender people, except for Sophie Cunningham. We can go after her. Did I mention she was an absolute smoke show? I think I might have. Only fuel fear, division, and harm. We will continue to have hard conversations. It's a hard conversation. But we will not be used as political pawns. Speaking of politics, Cunningham was fouled so violently over the weekend by a Chicago Spy player, Dejounte Carrington, who looks like she tried to kill her, that she was ejected from the game only to post white privilege on social media from the locker room. Because, again, Sophie Cunningham had the ball. She probably didn't even ask Dejounte Carrington if she would like the ball. Probably didn't even ask, shouldn't even offer to give her half of the ball, her fair share of the ball. She just had the ball, as white people do, always having the ball. So she decided to wrap her arm around her face and throw her to the ground because it was Sophie Cunningham's fault for white privilege, by the way, is the way I understand that. I don't think that makes any sense, but that's the way I understand it is happening. So white players in the WNBA, and I'm guessing the NBA as well, should immediately just give the ball to the nearest African-American player, and that will solve all the problems. That way it'll limit the violence, right? Is that the way that works? I'm trying. See, it's hard when you're not crazy and you try to interpret crazy. So I'm not 100% sure I'm getting that right. But I do know that what's her name? Dejounte Carrington. She's freaking nuts. And I just don't understand crazy. I don't really speak it fluently. All right, we got more coming up. 855-839-1210. Casey Bartholomew, 430. You're listening to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. I've been talking about myself for all these years. Now it's time for you to hear from one of our great clients.
Investor Schooling lives up to the promises. Larry's a great teacher, teaches about the whole new approach to thinking about money. I've taken to heart many of the things that he's taught me, and my financial life has improved.
Come to Investor Schooling, and you could be just like Charlie and change your financial life. Go to investorschooling.com. We will see you Thursday.
Celebrate the legendary voice of the birds, Merrill Reese, at Merrill Live. An unforgettable evening of stories, memories, and behind-the-scenes moments with Merrill Reese and special appearances from some of your favorite players and more. Merrill Live at the Scottish Rite Auditorium, Tuesday, September 15th. Get your tickets now at 94WIP.com. Presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865. And Impriano Roofing and Siding. The best homes have an Impriano roof.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tax, sponsored by Dollar General.
Meta's AI app is seeing strong growth according to the latest data from Apptopia. In July, the Meta AI app saw the largest percentage point gain in daily users of any AI app. Apptopia says other apps in the AI market, including ChatGPT and Claude, were flat or down from June. However, Meta AI is seeing much less time spent on the app from users compared to the other apps. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Back to school season is here, and Dollar General has everything you need to start the school year strong. Don't forget to grab a pair of bright yellow sunglasses from the Yellow Glasses Project for just $2. Every purchase makes a difference, with 100% of proceeds helping support teachers, classrooms, and nonprofit organizations working to improve reading and literacy skills across the country. Stop by Dollar General today and shine bright with the Yellow Glasses Project, available now at Dollar General. The Yellow Glasses Project is a program of the Dollar General Literacy Foundation.
See Joe Conklin at Parks Casino every third Thursday. It's Comedy Night. August 20th, headliner Taylor Mason. Get tickets at joeconklin.com.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT from the Piazza Auto Group Studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations.
.435, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Casey Bartholomew. I'll be with you until 6 o'clock. Stick around after 6, and that is when Rich Zioli comes on. 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. Every time I read a story like this, all I can think about is I literally cannot remember the last time I carried any cash. I'm like racking my brain. I don't have any cash on me right now. I can't remember the last time I paid with cash, certainly. But I never, ever have cash. I pay with magic. That's why I pay with my phone. I just pay with my zap my phone, and that's the end. When I run into a place that doesn't have Apple Pay, I wander the streets endlessly because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think. Because I don't have cash, I just have to use the actual physical card, usually places like that. But the idea that people are still carrying cash is kind of odd to me. My dad still does, but my dad is 86 years old. So he can't remember a time. He's never going to pay with his phone. He's one of those guys who probably saw he could pay with his phone and didn't realize that he'd have to set it up somehow, so he just hitting stuff with his phone to pay with it. But the idea that places are going cashless is it freaks a lot of people out. Well, another Wingstop location supposedly just took cash off its menu. Get it? As the chain pushes for cashless stores, and customers are apparently outraged over it. If your life is so good that that's what you're worried about, that's what you're thinking about, that's your big issue, cashless payment issues, you've got a pretty good life. You really should just shut your pie hole and get on with your day, because that's not something to really be angry about. The move toward contactless payment started in 2022 when Wingstop rolled out its first restaurant of the future. That's the restaurant of the present is what it is, but they got really excited, so I'll let them have it. The prototype was in Dallas, Texas, and smaller than its typical stores, only 1,300 square feet, because you didn't need all the space for things, right? Anytime they open a new modern restaurant or anything like that, it's usually smaller. And if it's a fast food place, they don't want you in there. They don't have the employees for it anymore. They have kiosks, and then you zap your pay, and then there's somebody there to hand you the food usually, if they remember, because it's still fast food. While customers may have missed the cash-free store's launch 4 years ago, a recent social media post has reignited the flame. In an ex-post by somebody named Clown World, a 6-second clip shows an employee at an undisclosed location taping a sign to alert customers that the location will no longer accept cash, and people flipped. It's like, I don't, again, I can't remember the last time I had cash. The post reads, some spots straight up will not take your cash anymore. Card or app only, no exceptions. One customer in North Carolina said they tried to pay with 1s and 5s and got turned away completely. I always thought they had to. Like if you ordered some food and they took food, you could take the food and just drop the money and leave, right? But those rules are changing, I think. I know money says like this is legal tender, but I think they can make that a possibility if they alert you beforehand, I think is what it is. So if they're alerting you beforehand, then you just have to deal with it, I guess. Wingstop fans and keyboard warriors did what they know best and sounded off in the comments. One poster questioned the legality, well, like I was just saying, the legality of going digital as our green says cash is king. The commenter said, funny, on the front of any bill in these United States of America, it says that legal tender for all debts, public and private, therefore, it has to be accepted. It has to be. It has to be. You would think your grammar, either way, whatever. Your chat GPT, run it through that and they'll check it for you. But anyway, I think, like I said, because there have been court cases about this before where people try to get uppity and say, it's legal tender. But I think if they make you aware beforehand that they don't take cash, you have the right to do that. And then you have the right to take your business, your wing-loving business, someplace else if you want to. Don't personally like wings, so I don't really care. Another agreed, adding, I thought it was illegal. It is not. Stores don't dictate what money is. In fact, they do. Again, if they let you know beforehand, I believe is this thing. That's why you see the signs taped up on places, because if they don't, then it's a gray area. But even if they don't, look, there aren't going to be lawsuits if you buy $9 worth of wings at Wingstop and try to pay with a $10 bill. There aren't going to be massive lawsuits, okay? Nobody's going to fight that, okay? It would have to be like a major transaction, I think, but either way. A third person boycotted the joint entirely, writing, good luck staying in business, Wingstop. I'll never eat there again. How fat are you that you think by you not going is going to put Wingstop out of business? How morbidly obese are you? Like Brendan Fraser in The Whale. How big and fat and hideous are you that you think you not going to Wingstop is going to be the one thing that brings them to their knees? But he says, I'll never eat there again, just like I haven't supported a single business past the first time they told me that they don't take cash. I'll never be back. Well, clearly it's working. This one poster is not supporting anybody after the first time. Clearly, they have brought the entire economic system to its knees by not going back. People really generally don't care, right? The only people who use cash anymore are probably in their 60s or 70s, and they couldn't get on board with everything. I still see people write checks at the grocery store to the point where I will openly discriminate when I'm at the grocery store. If I'm getting in line behind somebody I think looks too old, I will not get in that line. I will find another line and get it because you know they're going to pop out a check and I remember when Mr. Roosevelt was in office, Teddy, and I just... It's like, oh, good Lord. But either way. But some folks are also afraid that by removing bills, the system used for swiping credit cards or even big banks will tack on processing fees. Oh, they will. Absolutely they will. And they will be passed along to you. Absolutely, positively, 100%. When there's no other choice, they will absolutely be passed on to you, 1,000%. One commenter said, look at the billions of dollars banks make on processing fees alone. By moving to cashless payments, everything we buy will have a transaction fee paid to the banks, making them even more money than they already make. Yep. That is absolutely a thing that will happen. Now, you could, if everybody decided not to buy anything and only pay in cash, you could, but that's not going to happen. Because, again, the only people who always use cash are senior citizens, old ladies. Wait until they tell them and they reach into their purse and they pull out that little coin thing, their little white gloves on their hands, and they pull out some bills and they count them very slowly. And, you know, that's why there's hate in the world today, because of the elderly. True story. But what happens next, according to the press release from 2022, cash may be on its way out of all stores. The chain said its prototype was meant to be digital focused for ordering, which aims to help deliver on Wingstop's goal of digitizing 100% of transactions. The company store also had QR codes in restaurants for quick ordering. And, of course, a totally cashless environment. This means transactions will be done using credit, debit, or cash apps like Apple Pay. While the digital-first move has caused a bit of online chaos. What? Why would it buy online chaos? I guess it's just people commenting. But it's caused online chaos. Not everyone was quick to judge. Some folks even praised the cashless pivot, as the green can be dirty and lead to theft. Well, yeah, I worked in a bank once. I counted money all day long. That's what I did. It was gross. The worst, by the way. Now, I didn't work in a real bank. I worked in the cash office of an amusement park. We called it the bank, but we processed money the same way a bank did. Right? Same thing. The worst was when you would go into the cash bag, open it up to count the money, because some of it you had to do by hand, and the bills would be wet. Because what is this? What am I touching? That didn't cause me to wash. The pandemic didn't cause me to wash my hands a lot. It was counting you disgusting freaks' money that led me to do that. And, of course, there's always going to be theft. Just so everybody knows, by the way, maybe you've not read any paper ever or watched or heard any news report ever in the history of mankind. They can steal your money without having physical money. That is absolutely a thing that can happen. One ex-poster wrote, not that unusual, reduces theft, no cash, no robberies. Well, there's still robberies. People still do. It takes a while for the street thug to catch up, right? They're a little behind. You know, they're focusing on their thuggery, I guess. And so they don't ever catch up with technology really quick. But the moment there's no money left in the stores, they're going to figure out what other ways, right? Just like it's always weird to me. It happened last week in Philly. A DoorDash person, I don't know if it was actually DoorDash, but a DoorDash type person got robbed on site because they were delivering food. Those people don't carry cash. Those people usually don't have cash. That's all done digitally. But again, it takes a little while for the thug population to catch into things like that. And you never know when it's going to come up. All right, 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. Last hour we picked on Gen Zers. When we come back, we're going to pick on them just a little bit more because it's fun. They can't defend themselves. It's funny. 855-839-1210. That's coming up. I'm Casey Bartholomew, 447. You're listening to Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
In Philadelphia, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers and on the sidelines. We cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 80 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Philadelphia. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Babbel proudly presents the Sheep Cheese Fiasco.
Cute market. Ooh, cheese. Let's get cheese. Cheese, cheese, cheese. Hola. Quiero una oveja pequeñita.
¿Una oveja pequeñita?
Sí.
Bueno, pues tengo como 20.
Oh, no. Oh, but they're cute.
Don't let your Spanish fool you. Avoid bringing home the farm with Babbel, the award-winning language learning app.
Can you make us some cheese, please? Oh, cheese. You're not cheese.
Practice with Babbel's guided conversations based on real situations. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will have you speaking conversationally in as little as 3 weeks.
Yes. Oh, you're so sweet.
Get up to 50% off on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's 50% off at BABBEL.com.
For 50 incredible years, Merrill Reese has been behind the microphone, calling unforgettable game day moments and creating memories for generations of Birds fans. United Tire and Service is proud to congratulate Merrill on this historic milestone and thank him for 5 decades of passion, excitement, and legendary calls. Congratulations, Merrill, from all your friends at United Tire and Service. Don't drive alone, drive United. The summer heat means it's that time of year to crank up the AC again. To keep your home cooling more efficiently and help save you on high energy bills, better go Guida and finally replace your old drafty, inefficient windows and doors at Guida Door and Window. Right now, Guida is offering their best discounts of the year with their big 40% off summer sales event on all expertly installed windows and doors. You'll receive 40% off each window you buy. That's right, 40% off all high-performance, energy-efficient triple pane windows. And you'll receive 40% off any door, including insulated entry doors, patio doors, garage doors, and storm doors. Plus, get your project started today with no money down and pay it off interest-free for up to 18 full months. All prior sales excluded. Minimum purchase required. Don't let these big discounts pass you by. Go Guide It today to take advantage of these limited time savings by calling to schedule a free in-home estimate at 1-877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
Now, you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
.452 Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Casey Bartholomew. I'll be with you until 6. Stick around after 6. That's when Tony Bruno comes on. 855-839-1210. It's 855-839-1210. Oh, by the way, coming up after the news at 5, AOC has been saying some things. We ripped on the Democratic Socialists to start this hour. We're going to do some more of that. The particular Queen moron in charge of the DSA had some things to say about herself running for president, and you should be afraid. You should be scared, and we'll talk about that. That's going to be coming up at about 5:06. We'll talk about that. Right now, Gen Zers are getting rid of their smartphones for what they call dumb phones. They're just phones that don't do much. They talked to some of them. One particular freak's name is Kendall Schroe. I'm going to mispronounce. Remembers the moment she swapped her smartphone for a flip phone. She says, for me, like the second that my iPhone was gone, it was like heaven on earth. Like. She is among the growing number of Gen Zers who are ditching their smartphones in favor of stripped-down so-called dumb phones in an effort to unplug from social media amid concerns about the platform's impact on mental health. Some also feel nostalgic for an era when they never knew before the advent of mobile devices. I knew that. It wasn't all that great. It wasn't that big a deal. You all being nostalgic and romantic for the time before you could actually text somebody and get an answer, when you had to sit around and wait for hours. If the problem with smartphones, social media and all that kind of is parents not raising their kids properly. That's what that is. But if you get rid of your smartphone for any extended period of time, if you use a flip phone or something like that just for phone calls, because one thing I'll get into, and I'll get into this as we talk about it, but one thing they don't talk about so much is that the initial movement for what they call the dumb phones was just phones. That's it. Nothing else. It was a cell phone. You could make and receive calls. That was the initial dumb phone movement. Now they can also text. You can also text on them because that's a thing right now. And you can also play just a couple of games. Just hardly. So basically, they're giving up their smartphones, and they're getting their dumb phones, and they're slowly making their dumb phones into smartphones. That's what is happening out there. So it's funny to watch. As for me, I predate smartphones. My first smartphone was a BlackBerry. I loved my BlackBerry because I had the keyboard you could feel, and I could easily text with my thumbs are. I probably am developing some sort of weird thumb thing because of it, but I always liked the feel of the keyboard more so than the iPhone. But there are no BlackBerries anymore. They're gone now, so I couldn't get one if I wanted to. But anyway, according to Pew Research, roughly half of U.S. adults in 2025 visited social media platforms like YouTube and Facebook at least once a day. Research from the American Psychological Association showed even higher usage among young people, with the average U.S. teen spending nearly 5 hours a day on social media, according to the group. So-called dumb phones are a broad category. At one end are the old school flip phones, popular in the late 1900s. That's what it says. And early 2000s that handle calls and texts but little else. Then there are devices that use flip phone hardware but integrate messaging and other apps. Another approach involves using smartphone technology that blocks social media, but you can still get those apps and everything on there. You can block social media yourself. You know how you do it? I'll tell you. Shh. It's a secret. Everybody send me $100 when I tell you this too, by the way. It's really easy. You can block the smartphone apps by not downloading them. So everybody send me money now because I came up with that idea. It's all mine. I copyrighted it. Trademark. TM. But if you don't want to use social media, just don't download the app. Ta-da! It's like magic. Now, Shro, the bimbo we talked about at the beginning, got her flip phone from Dumb.co. Love that. A startup that sells devices loaded with practical tools like Uber, Maps, and Spotify, but no social media. Dumb.co said it has more than 5,000 active users. There's, 380 million people in the country? And they have 5,000 active users. Well, good for them. Good for them. The typical customer for them is a 24-year-old woman who apparently doesn't want to look on social media and see that everybody thinks she's fat or doesn't like her outfit or something like that. You know I'm telling the truth. But that's the movement right now. Gen Z giving up their smartphones to get dumb phones, which they can then turn into smartphones. It's the circle of life. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about AOC's recent comments. I'm Casey Bartholomew, 457 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barlow from Barlow Buick GMC in Woodbury, New Jersey. It's time to step up to the plate. The summer sell-out event at Barlow is here. Add Barlow discounts to factory rebates, and these deals are knocking it out of the park. The GMC lineup is stacked with power, with the Sierra leading the way. The Buick lineup combines style, comfort, and confidence. Slide into Barlow Buick GMC in Woodbury before these deals are out of here, or shop 24/7 at barlowautogroup.com. Buick, exceptional by design. GMC, we are professional grade.
The Birds are back, and another championship run starts now. Don't just watch the season, be part of it. Hit the road with thousands of fellow fans and take over the opposing stadium. Fans of Philly has road trips available now for Nashville, Arizona, Chicago, London, and more. Every trip includes airfare, game tickets, and an exclusive pre-game party. Book your seat today with the official travel partner of 94 WIP and the Eagles Radio Network at fansofphilly.com. That's fans with a P.com.
In Philadelphia, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers. And on the sidelines, we cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 80 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Philadelphia. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, NA member FDIC.
Pet parents, there are many sources to buy your pet food these days. But at Dogs and Cats Rule, we take special care in selecting our brands based on quality of ingredients, company transparency, and science-based nutrition. Coming into a Dogs and Cats Rule store with a dietary issue, we can help select the proper food. The best part of the visit is the shopping experience. That's Dogs and Cats Rule with 7 locations. For information online, visit dogsandcatsrule.pet. Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
From ABC News, I'm Lizzie Davis, anchor Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. In Western Colombia, the death toll is climbing by the hour following a powerful earthquake. Government officials say at least 111 people have died. ABC's Patrick Reevell has the details.
We are still really only getting a sense of the scale of the damage. The 7.4 magnitude quake hit in Western Colombia. We know that rescue efforts are underway. We've been seeing these frightening videos showing buildings swaying, walls collapsing, the buildings themselves coming down, people terrified, holding on to each other, just trying not to be thrown to the ground.
At the White House, President Trump signed an executive order aimed at reducing recommended childhood vaccinations to 11 diseases, down from the 18 diseases recommended by the CDC in 2024. The EO also recommends childhood vaccine schedules for the measles, mumps, and rubella, or MMR, be split into 3 separate shots. Leading medical groups are pushing back on the recommendations. Iran is refusing to back down on U.S. demands to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, listing its demands that include lifting the U.S. naval blockade and paying reparations. At the White House, President Trump insists the strait is open.
The only one that has control of the Strait of Hormuz right now is the United States Navy. We have a blockade that's been infallible.
The president now says Iran should pay reparations for the war and decades of terrorist acts. Following a contentious confirmation hearing and narrow vote over the weekend, Todd Blanche was sworn in as permanent Attorney General. Blanche, who was acting AG, is a former personal attorney of President Trump. In California, the Ojai Raptor Center says the injured female bald eagle, presumed to be Jackie, has died. Jackie and mate Shadow gained worldwide attention with the birth of eaglets on a Big Bear webcam. She was receiving round-the-clock care for anemia and health issues following a fight with other birds last month. You're listening to ABC News.
In a recent survey of 123,000 wireless customers, Pure Talk was the only wireless company to receive 5 stars in every category: coverage, support, value, and data. What else do you need to know? Switch to Pure Talk today and get any plan, including their top shelf unlimited data plan, for just $15 a month for your first 3 months. No contract, no commitment. Dial pound 250, say micro, and let Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team help you make the switch.
These days, heading back to school means more than pencils and notebooks. It means laptops, tablets, online accounts, and a lot of personal information moving across the internet. WebRoot Total Protection gives families powerful online defense tools with antivirus, VPN, cloud backup, identity protection, and more, helping keep your digital life secure throughout the school year and beyond. Go to webroot.com/radio and get 60% off today. That's webroot.com/radio for 60% off. Live a better digital life with WebRoot, because peace of mind shouldn't be optional.
I'm Lindsay Davis. For the latest on today's headlines, be sure to watch Prime tonight, starting at 7 Eastern on ABC News Live. Now with more news, here's Michelle Franzen.
Jury selection began today in the murder trial of rapper Tupac Shakur, a break in the case coming 3 decades after the fatal shooting of the West Coast rapper. ABC's Alex Stone has more.
Las Vegas prosecutors say they can prove the murder was orchestrated by one-time South LA gang leader Dwayne Davis, street name Keefy D. Davis spoke exclusively to ABC News from inside jail.
I'm innocent. I ain't killed nobody.
But for years, Davis has boasted about his alleged involvement in Shakur's murder. He even published a book admitting to his role in it, a book he now says he didn't write. Davis now pleading not guilty to 1 count of murder.
A very big find off of Italy's coast. It's being called one of the most important underwater archaeological discoveries in many years. Divers off the coast of Sicily finding a shipwreck believed to be more than 2,000 years old. According to the Italian Culture Ministry, the ship likely dates from the 1st or 2nd century BC. It's 140 feet below the surface and contains hundreds of ancient ceramic jars that were used to carry olive oil and wine. The oil and wine is gone. The jars are quite valuable. Sherry Preston, ABC News. More than 100 large wildfires taxing crews across the U.S., and the majority are in the western states. Crews estimate that more than 3 million acres has burned so far. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
In a recent survey of 123,000 wireless customers, Pure Talk was the only wireless company to receive 5 stars in every category: coverage, support, value, and data. What else do you need to know? Switch to Pure Talk today and get any plan, including their top shelf unlimited data plan, for just $15 a month for your first 3 months. No contract, no commitment. Dial pound 250, say micro, and let Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team help you make the switch.
Do you let other people order for you at a restaurant?
He'll have the saumon lyonnaise.
No, I won't. Or pick the movie you're going to see? She'd like a ticket to Attack on Rage Mountain.
Really?
Yeah, come on. So why would you let others make all the important decisions about how your life is going to be when you get older? I mean, is it okay with you if your kids decide where you're going to live? My kids? Are you out?
Are you kidding?
Or perfect strangers choose who will be taking care of you?
Not gonna happen.
No, Better visit longtermcare.gov, the trusted information site that helps you find your own path forward without selling you anything. It takes you step by step through everything you need to consider about aging and all your options. Longtermcare.gov. Stay in charge by planning now or pay later.
How about a mohawk?
How about a mohawk?
How about I put my foot right... Oh, hi, honey.
WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Now, The Drive at 5. 30 minutes of nonstop talk. From Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
506 Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Casey Bartholomew. I'm sitting in today. I'll be with you until 6. That's another hour, and that'll be when Rich Zioli comes on. 855-839-1210 is our number here. That's 855-839-1210. The bimbo on the left, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, said yesterday that she hasn't ruled out a potential run for president or the Senate in 2028, echoing remarks she made while campaigning for congressional candidates ahead of November's midterm elections. Everybody says, she'll never win, she'll never win. Let her run. You don't want that. You don't want that. There's too many stupid young people who think she's attractive out there. And that's generally how young people vote. She's pretty. I'm going to vote for her. She's going to take all your money. I don't care. She might kiss me. That's the way guys think anyway. I don't know what girls think. But either way, also, for everybody who thinks that it can't happen, remember, and again, we talked about this, I think about an hour ago. We talked about this. The only reason Bernie Sanders didn't get the nomination in 2016 over the Democrat darling Hillary Clinton is because they changed the rules so that Hillary had to get the only thing they didn't do in 2016 was write the rule specifically saying that Hillary gets the nomination this year. So everybody else can just go away. If they hadn't changed the rules, we would have Bernie Sanders running against Donald Trump. And in that weird year, God knows what could have happened. So you should hear this. And by the way, this is standard political speak, right? She's focusing on winning the midterms. She says, I'm running for Congress right now. On Sunday, when she was asked about whether she plans to run for president in 2 years, that's what they all say. And they all, for the most part, lie. If she starts polling, well, if the numbers start polling and there's money there, much is going to depend on what happens in the midterms, how well the DSA people do in the midterms. But it's very much a possibility. I guess she was also freezing eggs. I so hope the power goes out on her freezer. I just think one is enough. I just do. I don't know. Like I said, I think she's kind of hot. I wouldn't vote for her, but still, I think one's enough. Pressed further, Ocasio-Cortez added, I haven't ruled out the possibility, and I'm very humbled to the tremendous amount of support out there, but she reiterated her focus on the upcoming midterms over her own political future. That's twofold. One, she's running, so she doesn't want to make it look like she's not going to hang around. So that's one. She doesn't want to lose her because God forbid she loses her seat. Remember, she's a socialist, and somehow she went from being a bartender to being a multi-millionaire. I don't know how that happens when you're in Congress, unless you're a criminal. So we know she's a criminal of one level or another. But either way, most politicians are criminals, so that's nothing. But she reiterated that she's focused on the midterms over her own political future. Asked whether she'd consider running for Senate in New York in 2028 when Chuck Schumer will be up for re-election, she answered, I think that anything is possible at this juncture. Again, it's all going to be waiting and seeing. It's all going to be waiting and seeing how well the Democratic Socialists do nationwide. I mean, everybody in New York's a freak, right? That's a freak show. And they elected her, for God's sake. And then in New York City, they elected Mom Dama Lama Ding Dong. So they're out there. So anything is possible. And she may not play in the middle of the country. She may not even play toward the West Coast. But if she can dominate New York a little bit, maybe she'll just run for Schumer. And we'll have to deal with her in the Senate. But she'll become one of those senators who just sort of is there. And they'll always point a camera at her, and then she'll get on with it. That's basically what will happen. And again, she's freezing her eggs. That's scary just to think about. But anyway, the Congresswoman's political future has been the subject of speculation for years as she wielded her national political power to endorse insurgent progressive candidates who have beaten more moderate establishment candidates with bigger campaign war chests. Most recently, Abdul El Said, a candidate who pledged to reject funding for Israel and promote Medicare for all, barely beat Representative Haley Stevens, a Democrat in Michigan, in the Great Lakes State's Democratic primary for Senate last week, overcoming the tens of millions of dollars spent by Stevens and her supporters to attack him. Ocasio-Cortez said, I think that we are in a time of renewal for the Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. And it's tremendously exciting for all of us, for the big tent of the Democratic Party. She doesn't want a big tent. She's a socialist. She wants the socialist tent. And she wants everybody else just to get on board with it. She didn't give a damn about the big tent. But she says, we really have an ascendance of a young, inspiring, exciting electorate, energizing wave of candidates that I think really inject a new energy into the Democratic Party and add to the toolbox of candidates that we have to win the midterm elections, hopefully in November. Wow. Somebody wrote that for her. She's not smart enough to say that off the top of her head. Somebody wrote that for her. El Said's victory was fueled in part by Ocasio-Cortez's endorsement and by the backing of Senator Bernie Sanders, who ran for president twice, a progressive anti-establishment alternative to traditional Democrats. Sanders has all but ruled out another presidential run in 2028 when he would be 174 years old. He's another socialist who's never really had a job, but has a massive, expensive car collection, I believe, and more than one really expensive house. I guess we spread everybody else's wealth and not our own. Same for AOC, I guess. But he's all but ruled out a run in 2028. But who would vote? Like I said, he's 150 years old. Who knows? But drawing questions about who might take up the mantle that he began in 2016, Ocasio-Cortez, to some appears to be a natural successor, especially as she has, especially as she and Sanders crisscrossed the nation together since the last presidential election, urging supporters to fight oligarchy and support Medicare for all. You know, it's funny. I saw it was a meme, but it was true. It's like, we want to fight the oligarchy, except for Soros, except for the Democratic oligarchs. We don't want to fight we want to fight the Republican oligarchs. That's what we want to do. There's no hypocrisy there at all. Not even a little bit. Shut up. We're not even entertaining conversation to that. In July, while campaigning for El Said in Michigan, the Congresswoman said when asked about a presidential run, she said, quote, I mean, I can't say that I've ruled it out. On Sunday, she reflected on her political rise since 2018, saying, it's been the greatest privilege of my life to steal money to be able to represent the working people of my congressional district. And I think some of the ways that it's changed me has been to be able to come in with so many aspirations for our country. And then to have the remarkable opportunity to be in the arena and try to make the country a better place, challenges and all. So she basically answered the question by saying nothing, is what she said. But she goes on to say, and I love that it's hard. I love that I have to and I get to engage with people from all across the country, elected officials from all across the country, to try and actually fulfill our dreams, to guarantee health care for every American. She also spoke about her personal milestones she revealed on Instagram last week. She's freezing eggs. And again, I've never wanted a freezer to go out so much in my life. And why she decided to publicly share such a personal decision. She said that she posted videos of herself on Instagram administering the first injections in which the egg freezing process. She said, I want to share this because I've been weighing this for so very long. And there isn't a lot out there, and sometimes it can feel very daunting. I don't know what she's talking about there. Asked about the decision, Ocasio-Cortez said, in this political environment where the administration is denying reproductive care to women across the country, simply not true, from abortion rights to the ability to carry out a healthy pregnancy. That's right. You remember that law Trump passed where he insisted on terminating healthy pregnancies? You remember that one. I think it's important for us as leaders to have these conversations and share these processes, especially for working women across the country, and normalize them. Sure. Whatever you say, AOC. So anyway, what I read there is AOC, depending on how the midterms go, if the Democratic Socialists win more than they lose, you can almost be guaranteed that AOC is running for president. And that should scare you again, because Bernie Sanders should have been the nominee in 2016, but the Democrats changed the rules so that Hillary had to be the nominee. If they hadn't changed the rules, we already would have had a Bernie Sanders. By the way, that may have worked because Trump probably would have beaten him. Probably. You never know, because that would have been a freak show. Bernie Sanders there, and freak shows tend to attract people. But Trump probably would have beaten him, and that would have meant the socialists would have gone away. Now we have to wait and see how everything does as they convince a new generation of people who now can vote that having stupid people as your leaders who want to take all your money and make themselves rich and accomplish nothing from you except taking things away. Who was it? It was El Said. He basically came out today and said that his health care plan in Michigan will require a tax increase from the. So he said he's going to raise taxes. That's not going to matter a lick. Nobody's going to care. They're going to think, oh, Democratic Socialist, that's the new hip thing. We're cool, so let's vote for it. And then they're voting for a tax increase, but they're too stupid to figure it out. There really should be an IQ test for voting. There really should. You really should have to pass some level of IQ. Not a big one, like put the circles in the circle holes and the squares in the square holes. I don't think Democratic Socialists could do that. But it should be a pretty quick thing that you should be able to do. And then we'll either give you the real ballot or we'll give you the cartoon ballot that will have AOC and Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse, all those guys on there. All right, 855-839-1210 is our number here. I wanted to share this story because when I was a kid, honestly, when I was a kid, I thought that if I broke the law, if I did anything stupid, my parents were absolutely responsible for it. If I broke the law, my parents were going to have to be punished in some way or pay restitution. That's what I thought it was. And I guess I was wrong all those years ago because little by little, here and there, you see places passing laws. Usually it's cities or counties passing laws saying that the parents have to be held responsible for what their kids do. You're seeing it on a grander scale when dumb parents hand guns to their kids so that they can go shoot up schools, and then they scratch their heads and go, I didn't know nothing. He was talking about shooting up schools, but I thought it was all hypothetical. And then they do it, so they buy them a gun. Those parents are usually being held responsible. But either way, I thought my parents were responsible. This happened, and this is a horrible story. A beauty queen is fighting for her life after two brothers allegedly stole their parents' car and plowed into her as she walked a friend's dog. The two brothers were ages 4 and 6. I had to reread that when I saw this story. I thought it's got to be 14 and 16. No. The two brothers were ages 4 and 6. If you can't keep a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, if you can't keep tabs on them and you can't keep them away from your car, then the parents need to be dragged out in the street nude and beaten is what needs to happen. It is your responsibility to make sure your kids are smart enough or know enough not to do bad things. Not to steal the family car, for one thing. Kiara Darvone Bowling, is how I'm going to mispronounce that, suffered multiple brain injuries in the horrific crash and remains hospitalized, where her family says the former pageant queen's condition is dire. Bowling was simply out walking the dog when the young boys allegedly got behind the wheel and sent the vehicle careening into her, leaving her with the devastating injuries. According to her sister, Christina Blackman, she said she's currently still fighting extremely hard for her life. She is currently suffering from multiple brain bleeds and facial fractures. We're just hoping for a true, speedy recovery. And one positive sign, Bowling has at least begun responding to basic commands, her family says. I don't know what that means. Look this way, blink your eyes, something like that's probably what it is. Bowling was in her final semester at college with hopes of becoming a lawyer. According to police, the two brothers, ages 4 and 6. I mean, how does that even... The two brothers managed to get behind the wheel of their parents' car and drove at a high rate of speed before sideswiping another vehicle that was headed in the opposite direction. The vehicle careened into a home on the corner after hitting the woman who was walking the dog in the crosswalk. A witness said of the boys, they appeared to be using the steering wheel as the other worked the gas and the brake pedals. Where were mom and dad? While their brats were doing this, where were mom and dad? And yeah, I do think you need to know where your 4 and 6-year-old are at all times. I knew where my 4 and 6-year-olds were at all times. I didn't have a 4 and 6-year-old at the same time, but when they were 4 and 6, I knew where they were. Exactly. Neither one of them certainly could have gotten their hands on the car, started it, and started driving away. So they need to drag these parents in. Why weren't you watching your kids? How did they get the car keys? Yes, I would absolutely, criminally, hold these parents responsible. Because if you don't, parents get to pass the buck all over the place. So like I said earlier, I thought my parents were responsible if I did anything wrong. I really did. It wasn't until I got much older and I started seeing cities pass rules saying the parents are going to have to be financially responsible if their kid do any vandalism or anything like that. I always thought that was the case. Guess not. But these two kids got away from their parents long enough. And that's another thing, too. They got away from their parents. They got the keys to the car. They went and got the car, started the car, and drove the car away. Where were these parents? Were they doing anything? Or did they just like, hey, there's car keys are over there if you need them? Mom and I are going to be gone. You need the car keys. There they are. Only in an emergency, though. Your combined age is 10. So only in an emergency should you take the car. Apparently that wasn't the case. According to the witness, said of the girl bowling, you didn't hear her scream. Yeah, she was probably silenced immediately. She was run down and giving traumatic brain injuries immediately. You didn't hear any of the kids make any noises. The only sound you heard was the crash. The two brothers are listed in stable condition, and their parents are reportedly cooperating with police. Well, they should. They should cooperate with police while locked in a cage. Here's the thing. If we don't hold parents responsible when their brats do something wrong, then other parents won't be held responsible. Other parents won't pay attention. So what it is that you can't save this woman now. You know, she's hopefully going to recover from traumatic brain injuries, brain bleeds. She's probably not going to be a lawyer. That's probably off the table. She's a pageant queen, and she has facial injuries, numerous facial injuries. So the pageant road is done for her probably as well. So there's nothing you can do for her. But you throw these parents in the deepest, darkest hole we can. You find the biggest, heaviest book we have and throw it right at the side of their head. And then maybe, there's no guarantee, but maybe the next set of parents who are morons will at least pay attention. Maybe the next set of morons who reproduce because probably by accident, didn't know what they were doing. That sure feels good. They just did it, and that's what we got. Maybe the next morons will pay closer attention to their kids. Probably not hide the keys because they probably wouldn't be able to find them again afterwards. But either way, do something to where you have to pay attention to your 4-year-old and your 6-year-old. We're talking about preschool and kindergarten age. And they stole their parents' car. So yeah, something needs to be done to the parents. Now, the boy's uncle said the brothers took the car keys while the parents were sleeping. You don't get to do that. You know it's hard. I have 2 kids myself. He said the 6-year-old broke his leg and the younger brother suffered a concussion. Despite bowling's severe injuries, her family said they hold no ill will toward the children. No, I don't blame the kids. Blackman, the sister, said, there's no ill will. We all know children do not know how to operate a vehicle. This sounds idiotic. What we're saying here is that we don't want 4-year-olds and 6-year-olds stealing the car. But on the outside chance that they do, it's the parents' responsibility to make sure they absolutely know how to operate the vehicle. Is that what we're saying? Because that's idiotic. And while I don't hold any ill will towards the children, I don't want the kids thrown in juvie or anything like that. I absolutely, positively, 1 billion% hold ill will toward the parents. You tired? Yeah, I had kids too. I was tired too. If you and mom are going to take a nap, then you take the car keys and you put them in your pocket. You lock the door so your kids can't get out. That's another thing too. I mean, that's scary. Let alone, almost killing a woman. They could have walked out of the house and gotten taken, gotten lost, gotten taken, wandered someplace that they shouldn't have been. They could have been the ones to wander into traffic, and they could have gotten hurt because the parents apparently don't give a damn about the kids. We're going to take a nap. Y'all just, do whatever. I don't know. And that's basically the mindset. What if something had happened to the kids? I bet if something had only happened to the kids, we would be not worried about charging them. We'd be saying, well, it's parents' job to take care of the kids. But since there's somebody else out there and the kids aren't the ones who got really hurt, a little hurt, but they didn't get really hurt, that's where the question is. Again, we drag them in and we say, what happened? We was doing a sleep. Okay, who was watching the kids? We put on the TV machine and we let them watch that because I don't know. And that's what they were supposed to do. But instead, the kids stayed awake. And apparently there was no rule about taking the car. I will grant this. So I don't look like such a hard ass. When my kids were 4 or 6, I never felt the need to tell them not to take the car. When my kids were 4 and 6 years old, never felt the need. Hey, not until you're 9. I never felt the need to lay down that law. I also kept my keys in my pocket all the time or near my bed. If it was during the day, I kept them in my pocket. But either way, mom and dad are asleep. The kids steal the car. A grown woman is fighting for her life right now. So absolutely, positively, 1.5 billion%. We need to charge the parents with a crime. And yeah, a crime serious enough to lock them up because somebody almost died because of their unparenting and their epic stupidity. I'm sorry it's hard. I had kids too. They never stole the car. They never almost killed somebody that I know of. Maybe they're just better at hiding the body. I don't know. But we never heard any reports, and I've never been questioned about anything, so cross your fingers. All right, 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. Coming up, we're going to talk about the possibility of in-state tuition for illegals. I'm Casey Bartholomew, 5:30 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together, we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission: to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/radio. That's legacybox.com/radio.
Ready, set, summer with the Honda Summer Event. With impressive efficiency, sleek exterior styling, and sport-tuned suspension, the Honda Civic and HR-V have all you need to get summer ready with the most fuel-efficient full-line automaker in America. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
Shop Piazza Honda of Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, Reading, or Springfield today.
See dealer for financing details. Based on EPA estimate of 2024 large full-line automaker fleet-wide fuel economy. EPA Automotive Trends Report 2025.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. How many times are you going to listen to my voice before you finally go to investorschooling.com? I can't believe you haven't signed up for a class yet. You're going to learn real estate investing. You're going to learn stock options trading. You're going to learn things about money that you didn't even know existed. Go to investorschooling.com right now. Oh my goodness. This Thursday, investorschooling.com, and take that free class. See you there.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $3 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Summer heat, storms, and heavy rain can put your roof to the test. Don't settle for anything less than expert care. PJ Fitzpatrick brings more than 45 years of experience, and they've earned thousands of 5-star reviews. Delivering American-made, CertainTeed premium shingles. Most roofs install in just 1 day, and all come with a lifetime guarantee on materials and labor. Flexible financing makes it easy to protect your home this summer. Visit trustpj.com today.
You don't need another opinion, just the facts.
What caused that crash on the Schuylkill? Will it rain before the kids' game? What happened at the school board meeting last night?
At KYW News Radio, we don't take sides. We take notes, delivering the information you need to make the best decisions for your family.
The news you need whenever you need it.
Depend on KYW News Radio, Philadelphia's most trusted news leader for more than 60 years.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Now back to the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
534 Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Casey Bartholomew. I'll be with you until 6. And that's when Rich Zioli comes on. 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. My son's going off to college. In fact, what is today? Monday? Thursday. We are driving him to college. And that's the name of it. It's just called college. It's the College of College. And because the college in question is in the state, we get to pay in-state tuition. Because my son is a legal citizen of this country. Planet, really, but country. We get to pay in-state tuition. Well, the Department of Justice is now suing 3 blue states. They're not really blue, by the way. That's just a political thing. I made the same mistake. That's weird. But no, they're actually blue states politically, to challenge laws that let non-citizens, illegal aliens, benefit from college tuition rates offered to legal residents and other financial assistance. A lot of people don't care about this. I mean, they care about it in theory, but a lot of people don't care about it because they don't have any idea what it's like to have to pay for college, right? And because somewhere along the line, I don't remember when, I truly do not remember when we got epically stupid when it came to illegal aliens and non-citizens, however you want to put it, voting. I don't remember when we got so stupid about it all. But we decided to let people who have no business even being in the country pay in-state tuition for things. That is a significant difference. My daughter almost went to school in Florida. It would have cost us, all told, I think when she was done, she graduated in 4 years. And yes, I am bragging. But I think all told, after the 4 years, it would have cost us more than $50,000 more. Just because we happen to not live in Florida. Whereas an illegal alien could have oozed up to the college admissions, filled out the form, and got in and paid in-state tuition, even though they were an illegal alien. That doesn't make sense. It's not even about being mean to illegal aliens. It's about being respectful to American citizens, making sure there's some benefit to being born here and being a citizen here and living here. That's something like that. Now, that's what I would say anyway. But either way, the lawsuits against New York, Connecticut, where the middle C is silent, and Vermont allege that the state laws unconstitutionally discriminate against American citizens who don't receive reduced fees, scholarships, or other financial benefits. All things that absolutely happen. All things that are absolutely true and absolutely happen. And I can tell you this, 1,000% tell you that this is absolutely true because I had one kid go through college. We saw it. And I have one kid entering college. Again, we done seen it. And it's a thing that happens. And you do sit there and you go, why the hell? You just sit there and you look at the numbers. And, my wife and I were very smart when it came to my kids' schooling. We put money away for when they were born. We put money away and added to it and added to it. My daughter actually had too much money left over in her college account, so we stole it from her. And we put it in our son's college account so that he too can have too much money left over. And then we'll figure out what to do with it from there. But either way, we did. You don't have to put hundreds and thousands of dollars in. You put a significant amount. But either way, if he would have gone out of state somewhere, he would have had to pay as though he were a foreign national. But if an illegal alien did it, they wouldn't. And it's not fair. And it's bothersome. But they say it does unconstitutionally discriminate against American citizens who don't receive reduced fees, scholarships, or other financial benefits. And again, it's true. I've seen it. It's absolutely, and I have no problem with a state wanting to prioritize the students who live in the state, right? Because what's going to happen is the state school, Florida State, University of Central Florida was where my daughter wanted to go. I have no problem with them doing that because they're going to go, they're going to take a space, they're going to get educated in Florida, and then they're going to leave and do something else. So that's, I get that they want to charge them a little bit more. What I don't understand is giving any benefit at all to somebody who shouldn't even be here. According to Associate Attorney General Stanley Woodward, he said in a statement, so not speaking, writing, Congress long ago made clear that states cannot put illegal aliens over our nation's own citizens. Well, one party in Congress did. The other party is kind of flippity-floppiting on that one. He added, by granting illegal alien scum in-state's tuition, I accentuated that, New York, Vermont, and Connecticut are doing just that, no more, as of today. We have now sued every state in the Second Circuit that seeks to thwart Congress's clear prohibition by placing alien over citizen. Don't get them mad. I saw Independence Day. And our efforts will not cease until President Trump's promise is fulfilled. Illegal aliens will not receive benefits denied to our nation's own citizens. At least 14 states with similar laws, including New Jersey, Minnesota, and California. I mean, it doesn't surprise me when I read the names of the states. Yeah, New Jersey, Minnesota, California, Vermont, New York, Connecticut. You don't see Florida on there. You don't see Missouri. Texas is not going to be on there. That's the problem with everything. This goes outside of the illegal alien benefits for school kind of realm. But still, you don't see. This has so become such a political football that some states will do it just to say, see, we're more sensitive. And everybody goes, oh my gosh, they're more sensitive. And they don't even realize, because they're mouth breathers, and they don't even realize that they're okaying discrimination against citizens of this country. They are hands down saying it's okay to discriminate against citizens of this country. Why wouldn't we? Americans suck. It's basically what they're saying. Not even basically. It's what they're saying. So we're going to punish them. Why are we punishing American citizens? They know what they did. They didn't do anything. They were born here. Well, their ancestors 125 years ago, whatever, did something rotten. Like what? Well, you don't know. But everybody was awful back then, let's be honest. everybody was a horrible individual back then. So their ancestors probably did something, so we need to do so. And that's basically what it comes down to. Anyway, all of these states, 14 states with similar laws, have already been sued by the DOJ. In July, the Narlands-based 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals upheld a Texas federal judge's ruling that enjoined the Lone Star State from paying tuition for illegal aliens at public universities, as they should not. If you just pull your head out of your butt long enough to see that it's not, everybody says, oh, we're insensitive. Mean and insensitive, not about being mean or insensitive to anybody at all. It's about making sure citizens of this country have access to the services of this country, more so than somebody who tried to steal their way in. By the way, you all saw those videos on the news? Oh, last week and the week before? I think it was Spain. All these illegal aliens were running, they were crashing the gate in Spain to the point where they had to put up borders in the water and on land to keep these people from coming in, and kicked most of them out the moment they came in. We are always told, whenever it suits the conversation, right? We're always told we should be more like Europe. We should be more like the Europeans and be more sensitive and welcoming, because that's what the Europeans are. They're more sensitive and welcoming to everything. And they completely ignore how Europeans deal with immigration. I think it was Finland. They just stopped it. It's too many of them. So we're shutting it down. There's no immigration now. We're just shutting it down. If we catch you, we're kicking you out. They didn't cover that story for too long. And even the gate crashers in Spain, that was a couple of days. that was just a couple of days because there was video, and it was cool video. And then the narrative started popping up. Yeah, you know what? They did that here. Maybe we should do what Spain kicked everybody out. And I remember they put these floating barriers in the water. When I was living down in Texas, who's the governor? Abbott. Governor Abbott put these floating barriers in the water that separate the Rio Grande, I think it was, that separates America from Mexico. Put these floating barriers, big orange balls, very intimidating, that were covered in barbed wire, so you couldn't even hold on to them, right? Put them up there, and there was a massive PR campaign. Oh my God, you're awful, you're horrible, you're terrible. How could you do this? And Spain put a barrier in the water. I don't think it has barbed wire on it, but they put a barrier in the water, and that they couldn't wait for that to leave the news cycle. They could not wait for the news cycle to disappear to the point where they weren't showing the illegals crashing the gate in Spain, because that is what everybody tries to do. And all I think, honestly, I'm soapboxing here. And this doesn't really do with the in-state tuition for illegal scumbags. But all that video does, when they crash the gate, when they overwhelm border forces, when they do all the horrible, evil things that they are planning to do the entire time. And I guarantee you, it's not going to happen in the midterms because Trump's still going to be the president. Remember when in 2020, when Biden was going to win, and they kind of knew Biden was going to win, the caravans started to get to the border. All the way back deep into Central America. People walking hundreds and thousands of miles, but a long way, to get to the border of the United States on the hope that Biden was going to win. Just wait. Got our lowest border crossings probably in history right now. When the 2028 presidential election starts and we get the candidates and polling starts to go one way or the other and it starts to get tight, you just wait. There are going to be roving caravans of illegal scumbags oozing their way up through South America and Central America to get to the United States to try to steal their way in, because thank God Trump is gone. And everybody's going to believe it, and they're going to go with it because, oh, orange man bad, and that's the way it looks. And that's what people are going to do. And anyway, my son's going to college this week. And there are going to be illegal scumbags there who are going to have to pay the same tuition he is, even though he's actual American citizen. And they're going to be people who couldn't go to the college that he's going to. Not because he's so smart or it's a great college, but because they're going to afford it because it's not in the state that they grew up in. But there's going to be illegal scumbags doing the same thing. That's the reality of America. It's the way things are right now. And that's why I don't understand why people don't see it that way. When we come back, we're going to talk to you. We'll wrap things up, but we're going to talk to you about probably the most annoying thing in all of humanity right now. and how they are constantly trying to work around it. That's all coming up. I'm Casey Bartholomew, 547. You're listening to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Back to school season is here, and Dollar General has everything you need to start the school year strong. Don't forget to grab a pair of bright yellow sunglasses from the Yellow Glasses Project for just $2. Every purchase makes a difference, with 100% of proceeds helping support teachers, classrooms, and nonprofit organizations working to improve reading and literacy skills across the country. Stop by Dollar General today and shine bright with the Yellow Glasses Project, available now at Dollar General. The Yellow Glasses Project is a program of the Dollar General Literacy Foundation.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
My obstructive hypertrophic cardiomyopathy kept me from baseball games with my boys. The stairs were too much. With Camzyos, my symptoms have improved and I can be more active again. Camzyos is a cardiac myosin inhibitor, the first in its class to treat adults with symptomatic OHCM. Camzyos may improve your symptoms and ability to be active. And it reduced obstruction in the heart 4 times more.
In a 30-week study, Camzyos, mavacamten, reduced post-exercise obstruction on average 47 units of pressure versus 10 with placebo. Results may vary. Camzyos may cause serious side effects, including heart failure that can lead to death, a risk that's increased with serious infection, irregular heartbeat, or with certain other medicines. Do not stop, start, or change medicines or dose without telling your doctor. You must have echocardiograms before and during treatment. Seek help for new or worsening heart failure symptoms. Camzyos is only available through a restricted program. Before taking, tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and current or planned pregnancy, as Camzyos may harm your unborn baby.
Visit Camzyos.com or call 1-855-CAMZYOS. Actor Portrayal.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. While the sun's out and the summer's in full swing, Kitchen Magic wants to help you fall back in love with your kitchen. They're a family-owned business right in Nazareth, PA since 1979 and for over 45 years, promising high quality and craftsmanship. This summer only, 40% off installation with flexible financing options for every budget. Don't wait for someday. Visit kitchenmagic.com and build something beautiful together. Kitchenmagic.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
You don't need another opinion, just the facts.
What caused that crash on the Schuylkill? Will it rain before the kids' game? What happened at the school board meeting last night?
At KYW News Radio, we don't take sides. We take notes, delivering the information you need to make the best decisions for your family.
The news you need whenever you need it.
Depend on KYW News Radio, Philadelphia's most trusted news leader for more than 60 years.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
You can now tune in to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
.551 Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Casey Bartholomew. I am sitting in today. I'll be with you until 6. A few more minutes, and that is when the man, the myth, the legend, Rich Zioli comes on. 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. I wanted to share this story. You know, tipping is a big thing right now because they're trying to, it used to be you would give somebody a tip based on the quality of service they gave you. Those days are long gone. Now you're almost required to tip. And one of the big controversies that's come up is when you order via kiosk. and nobody's really taking your order. And they still, do you want a tip? And I usually click no, that I don't want to tip, because if I'm doing all the work, I'm not going to tip you to do anything. I don't think I should get paid. I don't think I should get a discount, but I'm not going to give you a tip. That's just the way it is. Well, listen to this. Just in case the guilt tipping wasn't already running amok out there, which is what they call it, an incensed customer has accused Shake Shack of raising the prices on their order after they didn't leave a gratuity at the self-checkout kiosk. This was declared by TikTok creator BD Powell in a video with 4.2 million views. That's a lot. He said, "My wife says that if you don't tip at Shake Shack, they make it more expensive per item." So he decided to test the theory. He ordered 3 classic shakes, a vanilla, cookies and cream, and strawberry at a branch at an airport in Salt Lake City. I'm guessing Salt Lake City Airport. I don't know. Assuming facts, not in evidence. They cost all $5.99 each, according to the orders screen. Well, the automated checkout then took them to the tip screen, where they offered 15, 18, or 20% gratuity options, as well as a choice to leave no tip. Powell selected no tip. As he said, it was a choice to leave no tip. It's his common at self-service outlets. And when he did so, apparently, all hell broke loose. The screen immediately displayed the message, and I guess this is all on TikTok. The screen immediately displayed the message, "Uh-oh, there's been a pricing update on one or more of your cart items. Please review these changes in your cart." Upon obliging, the 3 shakes now showed prices of $6.49 each, a total increase of $1.50, which would be about an 18% tip if he had chosen to tip. He said everything just went up 50 cents and warned viewers not to go to Shake Shack. Viewers were appalled over the alleged dirty tactic, one wondered, how is this legal? It's already too expensive to be worth it. Forcing an extra charge is a deal breaker. I'll never go there. Tipping culture in the U.S. has reached an intolerable toxic limit. I agree with that. However, others claim that the customer had failed to establish a casual link. One Redditor noting, "You didn't show what happens to the pricing when you do leave a tip." That's a good point. But it does seem odd that he got to the point of paying. The final thing you do before you pay is click your tip, and when you click no tip, suddenly the price of everything went up to what amounts to an 18% tip, which shockingly was one of the options out there. So, Shake Shack has since denied that they were scamming patrons, saying, "Thank you for bringing this to our attention. This is not a Shake Shack policy, and we're currently looking into it with our licensee that operates the Salt Lake City Airport location and kiosk system." So pay attention to that. They're raising the prices of things, apparently, allegedly, when you choose not to tip at all. It's just another way they're trying to screw us out of money when their employees don't even have to do a good job. All right, we're all done. Thanks, everybody, for listening and calling in today. Rich Zioli is up next. Casey Bartholomew, 556 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt.